All right, welcome to Straight Red Card. Man, there's just a crap load to cover. I'm kind of shocked by that. I was telling you that before the show. I'm like, Jesus. It's like
a crap load of minuscule topics.
Yeah, lots of tiny things, but, you know. By the way, have you ever had rib tips before? Rib tips?
Sure.
Oh, they're so good. They call it the barbecue candy, right? Because they're thin, they're small, they're delicious. They're almost like burnt beef ends or whatever you want to call that, right? So delicious. So my local Walmart had them. So I just bought a couple packs and took them to my parents last weekend and made them. They were so fucking delicious. But I hadn't seen them there for a long time. So I'm like, well, I'm getting some more. I'm going to keep stocking up and I'm going to make some for myself. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Guess what? All week, I went there 3 times this week. Nothing. This past week, nothing. No more rib tips. None. And
strike while the iron's out there, Derek. Come on.
I did. That's why I bought 2 packs, right? And
here's what's striking while the iron's hot is when you go there not expecting to buy anything, go to like Meijer or whatever, and you come across Meijer chicken legs in a pack of like 16 of chicken legs, and they're marked down like 40%.
Well, be careful; they could be rotten.
Well, I've seen that the best investment ever I've made in a long time was my vacuum sealer.
Yeah,
and
no,
I
you're
will
right.
Vacuum the seal out of the shit of that. I bought 4 packages. I'm walking around with 4 packages of these chicken legs.
You got an outside freezer, though.
I do. Yes, I don't have just.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't have a space for a giant freezer, extra freezer. So
make sure move that kitchen table of yours. You don't need it.
You're probably right, but just put a big fucking freezer back there instead, because my freezer's already full. So anyhow, really, really disappointed. Like, because I get the feeling I'm never going to see them again. Because every time I get them, they don't come back for months. So either people are just gobbling them up. By the way, also watching these Brits make these history videos about the Civil War, and I watched a couple of them, but they both said Potomac, the Potomac River. Potomac. It's Potomac. Last I checked.
You say potato,
but it's a native name.
Yeah,
the Native American name. And so I think you need to get that one right.
Question though, Derek, because I've stumbled across all these videos on YouTube that I'm like, ooh, I like to listen to this, and then I click on it and it is clearly done with AI voice.
I know,
and I'm just like, nope, pass, hardcore.
Pass. Yep. I don't even click on them yet. I do the preview watch on my TV because it plays the sound, and if it's AI, I'm done immediately. I'm done. On to the next one. And I'm a history geek. Like I'll be here all night watching history shit. But if it's AI, I ain't watching that. Not going to happen.
Yeah, just I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I'm sure if you watch it, some of the stuff is. I mean, majority of it's probably perfectly fine and good. I can't stand it listening to it because it just sounds so fake. I mean, obviously it is fake, but the whole video sounds fake.
Yeah. Anthony asked a good question. Is auto-tune AI? I mean, in kind of a way, but not really. It just sounds horrible, auto-tune, generally. People are asking because Paul McCartney's new album came out, and he's 83, and his voice sounds like pretty good. But if you hear him live, he sounds like total garbage. And yeah, so they're using some trickery there.
I wasn't saying, but people do this all the time. They'll like do videos. They'll do songs. Like they'll take a song from somebody else completely and then put it in the sound of Elvis Presley. And they'll have Elvis Presley sing it, even though obviously he can't sing it. But the sound sounds just like it, because it's all done through AI. Not necessarily auto-tune. I think auto-tune, it's just a setting. It's just an alteration of your voice itself. I'm assuming, because I haven't heard any of this stuff, I'm assuming they've logged in a bunch of his music into AI and basically just plugged and chugged that shit.
I don't think so. No.
You think so?
He clearly sang all the parts because they don't say.
No, it's not AI then.
Yeah, they don't sound like AI, but they're clearly using some sort of software to make his voice sound more robust than it actually is. So I don't know. How long before we have an AI version of the straight red card? We could be AI right now.
Say if Derek and I could work on that and get that going.
I wouldn't trust me as an AI though.
I'd definitely be putting my 20-something-year-old body out there instead.
The AI would study all the things I've said on this show, and the whole show would just be about porn, right?
Yeah, not whipping out the lube and
whipping out lube and jerking off.
Speaking of which, your favorite hater of lube has befriended you again.
He has?
You said that you sent it to me.
Who was it?
Prospects.
Oh yeah. So finally, U.S. men's national team. Was it Prospects or the other guy? Anyhow, the other was a guy who blocked me because
It's Prospects because he's talking about younger players, and you talked about not whipping out lube, and maybe he thought that was kind of creepy or something. I don't know.
No, he's somebody. Yeah, I think you're right. It's Prospects or somebody else. But regardless, he did not like the fact that I told him to not whip out the lube too early. He thought that was gross. But we're all good. He's following me now, so that's good news. He, I guess, he really liked my MLS posts that I did yesterday about which MLS teams were playing actual young players. I don't know. Maybe that was it. By the way, if I listen to another MLS game and hear the word pathways again from MLS announcers, I'm going to fucking drive to the stadium and slap somebody right across the face. Stop using the word pathways. There's no such thing. Okay? Because guess how many percentage of these kids in these MLS Next program, well, it's a stupid name for it anyhow, because MLS Next Pro. What? You really think, how many of these kids, what percentage are going to make it in MLS? A very tiny
percentage. Not even just MLS. What they talked about, it was like 1.9%. I think we talked about this over the past two live streams of just becoming a pro.
Yeah.
Not even talking about MLS or going to Europe, just being a pro.
Like, lucky, good enough to play 4th division ball for whatever many years before you give up, right? So stop using those words, please. And today, shopping at Myers. Why are there so many dudes walking around in Myers with flip-flops? Stop that. Do not go shopping.
I thought you were reading something there, Derek. It was so broken. I thought you were reading a comment. I'm looking for it in the comment section.
No. I was at Myers, and at least a couple dudes were there shopping in flip-flops. Number one, I don't want to see your fucking feet. Feet are disgusting, number one. Number two, male feet are even more disgusting. And number three, put some shoes on, dude. All right? Put some shoes on when you shop, please. Okay. What else was there? Oh, are we going to talk about U.S. players being all moany and cryy about Balogun's card being rescinded?
Oh, no.
And how that distracted them and how they couldn't play. Listen, I get it. You didn't expect it to happen. It was unexpected. Why are they listening to chatter from outside the locker room? That I don't get. Like, they're supposed to be isolated and turning that off. Right?
Yeah, provide your phone at the front,
Yes.
Bring it. Don't even go on there. Don't do it.
I don't understand that. And please, if that's what threw you off, listen, I was the one saying, even though that happened, I posted out there, hey, I would recommend don't play Balogun. Just go with the plan you've already been working on for a full week, right? Go with that plan with Pepe because you already been planning it. You've already had it worked out. And that way can't be any bitching and moaning. It can't be sent to some arbitrary court later on in Europe where we'll probably lose the case, right? But let's not say we couldn't play. At least Tyler Adams said, no, I mean, listen, there was talk, but it didn't bother me. I played the way I always play, which wasn't particularly good, but
yeah.
So there it is.
I mean, that's counter to what you would expect in that sense. Depending on who you are and how you rate Tyler in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, this is on request. Even flow. There we go. We got one.
Yeah,
all right, Brett, that's all I got. That's all I got, my man.
Ah,
That was on my mind.
all right.
10
Well,
minutes more than usual.
I mean, I don't have a lot of fluff. I mean, I guess a lot of the show is just gonna be soccer fluff. The beginning part. This is gonna be a legit soccer show. Look at that.
Nice.
I mean, we talked about food. We talked about what not to wear when shopping. We talked about auto-tune and music. We had some fluff in there.
That's true. Oh, I should say, today I'm drinking Thelonious Monk. Thelonious. Brothers Thelonious, Belgian-style Abbey Ale for North Coast Brewing Company. They're in a weird town, if I remember right. Yeah, Fort Bragg, California. I didn't know that was a thing. But I've had this many times. It's quite good. Very tasty. 9.4% alcohol by volume. And of course, it is a Belgian-style Abbey Ale, because that's all I don't drink in other beers.
Dude, I saw somebody, it was like it was a short, but it was somebody reacting to a bunch of Brits. And their questions like, oh, do you think the Americans can survive a European heat wave? And they're like, oh no, they couldn't do it. They don't have their AC, blah blah. And they keep going. And then it's like, plus, I don't even know how they made this transition over. But they're like, plus, they can't handle their liquor, they can't handle their beer. It's all watered down and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, the cut comes in, and he goes, It's the Stay Fucked Yakunts guy or whatever, I think is his name.
Oh.
But he goes, I'm a whiskey drinker, so I don't even drink beer. But there are motherfuckers out here in the United States that make beers that have like 25% alcohol value.
Yeah, well, not that high, but close. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, he doesn't drink beers. He doesn't know. I mean, the 9.4 is pretty fucking high.
9.4 is pretty high. Although I got a West Mala in there too that I'm saving for my dad this weekend, a big boy bottle, and I think that's around 10 to 11% West Mala. Mwah! Perfect beer. And yeah, I think that we do in my family drink some German beers too. That's true. We had Eilinger. Eilinger. We had that last weekend. Just one bottle each. Was the dark. Boy, my memory's really crapping out on me here.
Greg says liquor sales went down 22% last year. They've been going down hardcore because the new generation doesn't drink.
Yeah, but they do buy that THC alcohol, non-alcohol stuff. Because my Big Red Liquors is packed half with that stuff.
Yeah. He used to drink the shit out of it for the longest time.
And if you want to get a good beer and a good wine or a good bottle of champagne, you do have to go to Total Wine and Liquors. You do. Total Wine is the only highbrow whatever liquor store in Indianapolis. Now they're all over the place. Well, they're not. They're actually in Noblesville, Carmel,
very much the north side,
Westfield, Fishers. It's all in the burbs, right? Where
Derek, did you know that they deliver?
Nora? Yeah, I'm not paying for that. I mean, literally, I am 8 minutes out my door, and I'm in Nora.
Fair. I get it.
Yeah.
I literally drive by one, so
yeah.
I'm away from work. To and from, but they're not open too.
This was bought at Nora's Total Wine and Liquor, and all 4 other bottles I got that I'll be drinking on this show as we move forward were also bought there. I'm not going to be drinking the West Mala here. That's for me and my dad to enjoy together. My mom usually has a baby glass, like a tester glass. That's it. Because, she's not as much of an enjoyer of the.
I did do a quick search because they talked about how our beers are all watered down and stuff like that. And the average ABV in Europe ranges anywhere between 4 and 6%.
Yeah, but ours are between 3 and 5.
Let's compare. Average.
I mean, not if you count these big boys, these bad boys, but I know Bud, Miller.
So they must. Okay, so just talking. Well, I mean, Budweiser and stuff like that are between 4.2 and 5%.
Oh, that's higher than I thought.
Yeah. That exactly right. We
Yeah.
always used to joke around about, oh god, I gotta stay hydrated. Better go drink a Coors Light or whatever, But
that's probably lower. The light beers are probably lower.
They're still 4.2.
No shit.
Yeah, so the average is 4.2 to 6. So they're not taking into consideration when I say the average beer. by the micros. They're just talking about the mainstream shtick.
Still tastes like shit, though.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's light beer. You get 32 beer for like $10. Of course, it's gonna be shit.
Yep, absolutely. All right, what do we got tonight? Hit us with your best shot. Fire away.
We got Italy. We got Italy doing Italy things.
Oh, Paolo Maldini and Leonardo resign from their roles as Italy Federation Technical and Advisor. Because I'm just going to sum it up because the Pirlo hire didn't happen. Now, Fabrizio's taking a hammering on X because he put out the story yesterday that deal was done. No, it wasn't done. So Malago did not sign it, and now Fabrizio's getting hammered out there.
Let's see, I'm trying to see if I can see the guy that's been like the other pundit that's been bashing him. Okay, he's not on here. There was a guy called him out, and Fabrizio actually came back and said, "Do you want me to go back through my DMs where you wanted to sit down with me and pick my brain about this 2 years ago?" And the guy was like, "Dude, thanks for rehashing, private DMs, but yeah, it was kind of the way he kind of alluded to it was like, don't meet your hero type of moments."
Yeah, no, I get that. I
was like, I was like, for how popular Fabrizio is and how much he gets and stuff like that from some people, that was such a random, like, ass hurt type of moment,
Yeah, can we be really honest about why Fabrizio Romano always has all the information? You know who all his contacts are? They're not the players. They're not the coaches. They're not, inside sources and friends from the players. They're agents. He's an agent knob guzzler. That's what he is. And
it works for him.
It works, and he's not the only one, by the way. There are other ones. We have our own here in the United States. I'm not going to name them, but you guys probably know who they are. And I've had back and forth discussions with Will and other people about this too. One thing you cannot do is trust when agents are pushing shit at you. It's usually for a reason, and you have to really be careful about posting it up because it's usually there's a motive there. They want you to post it up. That's why they're giving you the information and they're being so outward about it. There's a reason that Wasserman was pushing all this BS about Pulisic coming to MLS. Not that it wasn't true, because there was some interest there from New York City FC for sure. But why was it so easy for us to find out about it? Not just me, but everybody. Everybody knew about it. Why? Because they were pushing it out on us.
And as we're gonna get into the Pulisic rumor, I don't even know if New York City FC and Man City conglomerate would be able to afford him at that point.
Well, I tell you this: if he's overpriced, that's just crazy.
I don't think AC wants to get rid of him, but he only has one more year on his contract,
right?
So they better either start wheeling and dealing, get some cash, or sell his ass. The SL29 says 29. I wonder if Diego ever got his inroads to Wasserman like he was hoping. I know he came back a little bit for the World Cup, but I haven't seen him since.
I could ask and find out. I could either ask Diego or I could, I suppose, ask people that I know in and around Wasserman. Either one. Anyhow, I don't want to get all my contacts, disconnected, but let's be really honest. You can't trust agents. All right, you can't trust agents. They all have motives. There's always a reason, whether it be boosting the prices of their players or spreading rumors that are remember when Ferreira came out and said, "Yeah, none of those rumors about me going to Europe were true. None of them. That was my agency. They were all just putting that out, trying to build something up for me, but it was all a lie." Jesus, you're not supposed to say that out loud, brother.
He said the quiet part out loud.
He did. He's just like, no, those were all lies.
His agent was like, "Fuck you, Jesus, you're going to Seattle now. Get out of here."
Yeah, exactly. But, all right.
U.S. call-up's not going to happen.
Exactly. I can't believe he even said that.
Oh,
Like,
no.
was it like months before the World Cup? He's like, "There's still a chance."
Yeah,
No,
right.
there wasn't, dude.
It's,
Jesus, no.
it's like you're like here's where we're at. Even if there's injuries, you're way down here, buddy. Have you even been called by Poch?
Yeah, no, he's never been. I don't believe. No,
No.
for good reason.
Sticking in the wonderful world of European football
Mhm.
and talking about international coaching.
Mm-hmm. Oh, these words from Jurgen Klopp at his presentation as Germany's new head coach. I'm not doing this job for myself. I'm doing it for you. I'm accepting this job, despite having seen how you treated Nagelsmann and Tuchel. If you go after my family, I'm out. If you think I'm trash, tell me to my face, and I leave immediately without asking for any compensation. Jurgen Klopp has no career after the national team. Ideally, this is the pinnacle. Oh, it's still him. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's talking
Someone
about himself.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
Jurgen Klopp has no career after the national team. Ideally, this is the pinnacle of my career, he says. All right.
Oh, man.
Well,
This is it. This is the last.
This is my last shebang. And, I mean, it doesn't have to be, but Germany's got a whole load of work to do. But I love that he's just like, I'm not doing this because I got to. I'm doing it because you needed me, and here I am. I didn't need this shit.
I spent more time than I should have trying to find the quote or the conversation about Klopp and all the American fans, saying, well, there goes our odds of getting no kind of Banks, because apparently Klopp basically said, hey, we need to find ourselves again, and we're going to be looking at anybody who's available to play for Germany.
Well, Germany's not stupid.
I'm paraphrasing, of course.
At this point, they figured it out. They're going to probably cap in the Nations League against some weak ass team, which they can't really have because they're in a pretty decent groove in Nations League. So I don't know about capping them like in a friendly, but they're going to call up Banks. He may not play. They're going to call up Colbreth. That one you can write down in ink. Banks, not sure. Colbreth, hell yes, they're calling him up. So
it's become one of those things, especially at the some of the German duels and stuff like that, and especially the high end ones, that maybe we need to start tempering our expectations and accept who we have, and kind of hope that they end up choosing us. But in the end, let's not overlook who we got available to us.
Well, and I understand the people who are like, well, fuck that, man. I hate being the second choice. Either you want to play for us or you don't. But the reality is, and this goes for every team in the world who all have dual nats now practically, you get what you get, right? And I guess, you're going to have to determine whether or not they're putting heart and soul into the game or not. And if they're not, they're out. Simple as that.
I mean, I have no doubt that if Nokai Banks or if Nathaniel Brown had done it beforehand, but obviously that ship's long on sale, of course, not going to happen. Right. No chance in hell, period. But I mean, no chance in hell is there's zero chance that it would ever happen. But if he did happen to play for us, or if Colbreth or if Nokai Banks played for us, I would have no qualms, and I would expect that all of them would be playing as hard as they could.
I think
how many people? How many people? If you can go back through the history of all the dual nats for the U.S. national team, how many people? I'm not even talking about the people that Donovan may call out or something like that. But how many people is? How many people do you recall watching, going like, this guy just doesn't give a fuck?
Not many.
They're few and far between, man.
Yeah, I think once you pick one, you're kind of all in.
Yeah.
So if you want to play in a World Cup, you got to go all in. We know who Donovan was criticizing, not so subtly. I think he didn't even hold back. I think he just literally said Timmy Chandler came and he didn't care.
I'm sure he was one of the ones that are called out.
Yeah, no, he definitely was called out. So anyhow, but if you're going to pick us, you're probably going to put most of your effort in there. I mean, I don't see why you'd hold back. I mean, it's either all or nothing at that point, and it may have nothing to do with how much you love America. You just want to play a big role on that team. And by the way, being a really good national team player, even on a team like the United States, raises your price across the board. Look, we're even talking now about Balogun, who's another dual nat, who, I don't know if I could ever question his commitment. He looked pretty committed to me. His price is going to go up. And if he sold, I mean, somebody in the EPL is going to have to spend a lot of money to get him. So we'll see if that happens. But, All right.
Larry says, even Iceman. Yeah, I don't know. I think most people referred to him as Bacon. But, Bacon gave his hip for the U.S. men's national team.
He gave his hip, not on purpose.
He left it all on the field, Derek, literally.
I mean, he was pretty committed, for sure. But
100%.
He didn't play much for us, but
well, that's because he was injured his entire fucking career.
He was. Is he still playing in Iceland? I think he might be.
Oh, maybe it's possible. I don't know. I haven't really followed him since he had to get a hip replacement.
I think we should do a whole show of players that look like other people, right? Just have their photos up there.
We could've.
Who's the New England guy that looks like Yout from the Beastie Boys? Oh my God, they look so much alike. At one point, they did for sure. Yes, Steve Ralston when he was younger, and Yout from Beastie Boys. Oh my God, they're fucking like the same person.
What you want?
Especially if you have them both unshaved, they look so alike. It's crazy.
You don't think they both have buzz? You don't think when they had the little 5 o'clock shadow type of?
Yes, they look so similar.
Identical, yeah. They don't have to be. They don't be shaved.
I mean, there are other players we could bring up, but those two, Jesus, Twellman and the goalie for England at one point. But I can't remember his last name. Anyhow, they were like identical too. So no sleep till Brooklyn. All right, here we go. What else we got?
Well, speaking of the World Cup, obviously it's over. Had good times, and some companies have been doing some analysis of the World Cup. Another 48 teams in the 104 games or matches analyzed.
You know what, Brett?
Yeah.
You can't have analysis without anal.
That's why I always say analyzed.
We're gonna do some analysis.
Analyzing your performance in the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting deep in there, deep into the crevices.
You have to when you analyze things.
Exactly. Right?
Analyze things.
Yeah.
All right.
As it turns out, USA is number 1 on distance run per 90. USA.
Right.
USA.
Okay.
USA.
That's not all good.
You can't claim we didn't bust our butts trying.
No, we tried.
We tried.
We broke a brain cell, or many brain cells in that last game. We just fell apart. Who didn't
Argentina wasn't the least ran team. I guess Qatar, Curacao may have all been playing defense, so they didn't run nearly as much, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet you Argentina would be up way up here if it wasn't for Messi's distance covered in those matches.
Very short. Yes.
Oh no, man.
But I mean, it's embarrassing for a team like Qatar. I guess they were stuck in their own end the whole time.
Yeah.
Running 5 feet, 5 feet, 5 feet, 5 feet.
What about the Dutch? They didn't run anywhere.
Anyhow, running's overrated. We all know that.
True.
So it's interesting.
Well, as you can tell, because we made it to round of 16, flamed out hardcore. But you know what? We took that distance, ran, made it our pitch.
Yeah, it's one of those stats that's like interesting, not interesting kind of thing. Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what stat is pretty interesting? Tillman being the highest rated midfielder at the World Cup.
According to FOTMob?
FOTMob, of course.
Or FootMob or whatever.
I like saying FOTMob, but I mean I understand why. And I think you were saying FOTMob for the longest time.
I
did. All right, I'll jump into it. Why not? Sure.
Because I'm a fucking English teacher, and that's how it will be pronounced, and the way it is spelled.
I mean, it's a fake word, so.
It is. That doesn't mean you can pronounce it any way you want to. That'd be like me making up a word, and it's spelled T-R-A-T, trat, and I pronounce it twat. Like, no, I'm not. That's not twat. That's trat, right? You got to pronounce it how it is. All right. Well, anyhow.
Congratulations, Malik.
Listen, he was the best player on our team, I think, outside of Balogun, and I think Richards up until the last game. That was awful, but yeah, okay. Now let's just see if Malik Tillman can take this to Bayer Leverkusen for a season. I want to see him become a locked-in starter. And not only a locked-in starter, the best player on that team, because he's surely capable of that. I'm not sure what happened last season, but he went through some games where he disappeared. Let's just put it that way.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you talked about that a lot leading into the World Cup. You know, him ghosting, him getting benched, him coming back, and having a great game here, but then gone here. Well, you weren't even saying ghosting. You were saying like he wasn't enforcing himself into the game, I guess. I don't know one way I want to word that. He was a passenger. He was there.
He's not demanding the ball. And when you're as good as he is, I'm sorry, you got to get up in people's face occasionally and say, I'm fucking right here. Pass me the fucking ball. Okay? You got to do it. And I know he's a quiet guy and a humble guy, and he doesn't like to get, but he's going to have to get a little bit more demanding next season. All right. I know I don't think it's possible for him to do it, but that's what he needs to do. Otherwise, they'll pass around him. All right.
Or if they do pass to him, he was just being a passenger throughout some of that chunk of that season, where like the ball would go to him, but then it'd just go right through him.
Yeah. He really isn't that good, says Strong. Did you watch that World Cup? He was really good every game, except for the last one, but that goes for everybody. And he was one of the only players in the last one versus Belgium that didn't suck outright.
I'm just happy that we finally have found a guy who can take our free kicks for us.
Yeah.
He's
a hole player. That sounds like you're pretty limiting his porn career. I'm like just to one hole. I think he can do more than one hole.
Yeah, at least 2 hole, right?
Well, there's 3 holes. I mean, probably too big for the other holes on the side of the head, though. I mean, ear fucking's not recommended anyhow. Yeah. All right. So,
talking about like some kind of catheter porn of some form.
Catheter porn. Oh, what is that called?
What's it called?
Docking. Yeah. How disgusting. Wow. It just doesn't even sound like something that can actually physically happen. But
Why would you do that?
I am told it has. Otherwise, there wouldn't be such a word for it, right? There wouldn't be a word for it.
It's Why? Why?
Okay. New topic. Julian Divas for $9.99. Hey, brother. Greetings from Lehigh, Utah. What do you guys think of Pochettino still not giving an answer? Ooh. He's waiting for the Argentina job. Also, if Gozo doesn't go to Europe in August, it is over to go to Europe for him. No, I don't think it's over. Start with Gozo. If he doesn't go in, he's got, like, actually moving in August isn't, like, absolutely necessary. It's just that he wants to go. He's had a rougher time the last 2 games I watched. He's had a lot of like hard touches and giveaways, and it's not the player I remember seeing prior to the World Cup. So let's hope that gets a little bit better. But I still believe that he could be good. He could be very good, and I do believe going to Europe will help him.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, he's 19 years old. It's odds of going to Europe are only exponentially growing. He's eager enough to do so. The question is, when will Real Salt Lake value and selling him more so than keeping him? He signed a 4-year contract through December 2027.
So that's on him.
They got one more year left of that contract. But the problem is it was a 4-year contract with a 2-year club extension. So technically they got him through 2029 if they want.
Yeah. Yep.
That's MLS fuckery in all seriousness, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's why I hate whenever like you have these youth players that are signing at like 17, 18 or whatever, and they'll sign these contracts with MLS hoping that they'll play a couple years and then get shipped off. But the fact of the matter is MLS has your ass for 5 years. So if the deal just isn't good enough, we've seen that with a number of players in the past. There's that kid at the Union who hasn't come back from the World Cup and rejoined the Union because he wants a transfer.
Yes.
But I mean, it's the same concept. So, I mean, that's rough.
Yeah, beware when you sign with MLS. By the way, for the 172 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your grandma, because your grandma would like the show if she's alive. She isn't. I beg your forgiveness. By the way, Leahy? How do you Leahy, Utah?
It's Lehigh, is it Leahy?
Well, I was just told in the
Please tell Derek it's not how you pronounce Lehigh.
I mean, doesn't really matter on this one. It's not like it's Kern, right? So who cares, right?
Kurn, Kern.
Oh, by the way, the Pochettino thing. I do think it's quite suspicious that we've got nothing. We don't know anything about what's going on now.
What's weird about it is that the U.S. Soccer came out and said they expect an answer like sometime in August. Like they were talking about, like we've offered this bid, we're expecting an answer by this point in August or whatever. But then Poch came out and said, "Yeah, you'll have one by the end of the week," and nothing's come about that.
Yeah, so you got to wonder what's going on behind the scenes. Berlin says you were going on about pronouncing before. Yeah, because what I go on about pronunciations is because it's important. Lehigh, Utah. There we go. Lehigh, Utah. I mean, it's important to Julian. He lives there. And if he doesn't say it right, people will beat him up. I don't live there. So I guess that's number one. Anyhow, I'm just kidding.
What would be the other pronunciation? Lehigh?
Lehigh. Yeah.
An A sound?
Yeah. Anyhow, no, I'm just kidding about all that. I always try to get the words right. We just fail on occasion here. Usually not on names of cities in America. That's not where we usually fail. But anyhow, we're usually pretty good in Europe as well. In fact, we've been trying
I will say this much: when Derek says we're pretty good, he means to say that Derek's pretty good. I'm very phonetic. I'm very phonetic when I say words. I saw Lehigh. I'm saying Lehigh.
How long did we try to help Pete on Westerlo? And yet he kept calling it Westerlo. He just couldn't stop himself.
Pete intact with Mathis Albert.
Yeah. Mathis Albert. Come on. It's Albert. Matisse Albert. Sounds way cooler than Mathis Albert. Like,
you have to say that. When you read that name, you have to say it with the Southern accent too, right?
Well, I'm just trying to make my point, right?
Well, trying to make my point. Say it normal. Say Mathis Albert normal. It doesn't sound right.
Mathis Albert.
Doesn't sound right.
It's like Fat Albert.
So it has to be said with a Southern accent, or properly, it's Matisse.
One of his parents is French. He's obviously his last name is Matisse Albert. All right. Anyhow, it doesn't matter.
Regardless, Derek, you broke this weeks ago, saying that we're playing Peru, either in this
Chile
or the next. Chile.
Yeah.
Well, it's come out another team that we're facing soon here in October, I think it is, and we'll pull this up here in a second. And you'll never guess who it is, Derek.
Chile.
It's Mexico.
Oh, and Mexico. Yeah, I knew about that too. But that was kind of a
I love the announcement of it. It's like, it's Mexico. We'll be playing in Phoenix on October 3rd. I'm like, great. We knew we were going to play them once every half year. It's fine. What about the rest of the teams we're going to be facing? August is right around the corner. September, October. Let's get some names out there, guys.
Yep. So we'll find out. But yeah. Okay. Mexico, great. Want to see some new faces on that team. It's popular to troll soccer because soccer is popular. So, this is our good friend, our very
Teddy.
long-time good friend, Ted Westervelt.
Non-sock puppet account, Teddy.
I like your beer, Ted. The beer that you make in Belgium, the Westervelt beer. That's very good. I don't know if you have anything to do with it, but I'm going to guess that you're Belgian. Anyhow, so don't be all soccer about it and take it personally. These guys will babble on no matter what. Now, that's true. Oh, yeah. That means that if you're... Oh, it's Jim Rome.
Jim Rome, yeah.
Well, we did a whole skit on Jim Rome 14, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Where he does a whole skit on with D-Rec, hating on soccer. So, yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
I didn't even know he was still prevalent until this quote came back up. I haven't heard anything from him in over a decade.
I mean, he's relevant to his small crowd, I suppose. But I didn't know he had a show. I figured he still had a show. I just hadn't really.
It's so simple to have. I mean,
right. Everybody and their mom has the podcast now. Yeah. I mean, they don't love. We know
we date all their moms.
That's right. And their stepsisters. But not many of those shows last very long. That's the challenge, right? They come and they go. We've now been
so
back
much the going, but the coming.
The coming's important. We've been back for 5 years now. Can you believe that?
That is crazy. Yeah.
That is
and
insane.
remember, we restarted the show with just recorded videos saying, we're not going to do live streams.
Right, we did.
We don't really like live streams. Let's not do live.
And that was after a 7-year absence from after we left Big Soccer, didn't do shit for 7 years, and then came back and started again five years ago. And we're not leaving. We haven't even threatened to leave. Why? Because we do this for the fun of it. That's why.
Yeah.
We don't do it for hits or money although I am getting some new equipment, and I'm not talking about my penis. I'm talking about a new mic and a new camera, right?
Camera, yeah.
So you're going to get to see my beautiful face in detail. Woo! Hot, hot, hot.
Still have to maybe look at doing some kind of a green screen behind it because, I mean, you've got a nice little background, I guess.
Yeah, it's simple.
I can't show my background's an unfinished basement. I mean, despite the fact of what it looks like a gentleman's club.
Yeah. Well, if you could see those pictures better, they're really pretty awesome. Anyhow,
Derek, if only you would sit at a table with a chair.
Hell fucking no. I do not.
They're just like sitting next to the door, crisscross applesauce.
I do. I sit Indian style all day.
My knees would give out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strunk says, Derek, like the blur, makes you look dreamy. Thank you, my brother. I do appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, just imagine. Going to be even hotter later on. Oh, Brett's got a visitor.
I'm not sure why people decide to come bother me during my show. They know when I'm doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, people.
Almost like there's another parent in the house somewhere.
Like they got to talk to you. Come on.
Right. I am the boss.
Damn
unless he chimes in, then she's the boss. I'm the boss. I'm the boss.
But you're still her bitch, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right, next topic. Fuck Jim Rome. On to the next part. He's not on ESPN. He just did ESPN.
Yeah, that's just sort of my transition noise.
Oh, okay. You should do even flow.
He may have been on ESPN at one point, so maybe it's.
I don't know if he ever was. I don't think he was. No, it was like a CBS guy.
Was Jim Rome on ESPN?
No, he was on other networks.
Yes, Jim Rome was on ESPN for 2 distinct periods. The Jim Rome is Burning Show was on ESPN.
That was ESPN?
Yeah.
Well, me.
Bloody frickin' da.
Crazy. All right, 11 Yanks. Hey, Pete, how you doing? By the way, he did have a talk with Tact.
Set him straight.
Yeah, he'll be coming on to discuss his comments about his show and Pete's show being the only 2 shows worth watching on the podcast, or the only one doing a good enough job. We had a small laugh about it, and then it got serious. But yeah, he'll be on soon, and we're going to talk that one out.
Did it get serious?
No, it did not. All right.
So, we go for blood.
No, it was a fun little back and forth. We were laughing, and we'll see what happens from there. Okay, 11 Yank says, yes. And
I don't want to show you the deleted post because it was deleted before I could see it, and I had to go and ask the fans of the show. Anybody capture a screen cap of it?
Okay.
And a fan of the show did in fact get it and gave it to me, and I'm gonna post it here in a second. But I do want to just pull up the tweet, his response to that.
Well, maybe we should see what he's responding to first.
Well, I mean, that requires me to go back. All right, it doesn't matter. We'll do this for sure.
Oh, Twelman, tight shirt.
So here we go. This is Pete says, good for him for pushing himself and leaving MLS. He's talking about Berhalter going to Burrow.
Okay, that's fair. You cannot talk bad about a player like you have, claim he'll never move to a bigger club, and then congratulate him moving on to the championship. Seriously, this has to stop. It's so, I almost said red ball. It has to red ball. It's so counterproductive. A waste of our energy and missing the mark by a mile. You know what? This is when I get people texting me saying, you do hang out with negative people. This must be who they're talking about, Pete. Because I'm like, who are you talking about? Well, you know who. No, I don't. I don't know who. But they won't tell me. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't know. Maybe Pete did say he's not good enough for the championship, but I certainly don't remember him ever saying it.
I think he may have said that he's not good enough he might have said he's not good enough for the U.S. men's national team squad, perhaps.
Well, he was wrong there. We never said that, though.
I don't know if he actually said that. I'm just assuming based off of what Twelman is following his account and seeing him. I mean, he must really follow Pete because, I mean, you and I are friends with Pete, and I don't see half as many comments from Pete that I would remember him saying something bad about a player.
Yeah.
And then coming back in later whenever he congratulates him.
So Twelman, tight shirt must spy on Pete to know that much, number one. And number two,
it's sad that he doesn't spy on us.
I wish people would spy on us.
I would love it if he chimed in on us. I mean, I laid into him.
But to be fair, we don't always agree with Tact and Pete, and we never really thought Berhalter was. I always thought he had a chance to make the U.S. squad, and I thought, and I've said it multiple times, that if he went to the championship, he'd do really well, and he's going to do really well.
The same thing we said about Morris. The same thing we said about Ajman.
Yep.
I mean, at this point, it is getting to that point where the championship, while a strong and physical league, is kind of just a lateral movement into Europe for a lot of MLS players. And maybe that's the branching off point that they could take if they're middling players in MLS or whatever. I'm saying that those are middling players, but they're not standout stars.
Well, you're going to Middlesbrough, which was a team on the cusp of making it to
a playoff spot.
The Premier League. So you're going to a team that has a chance of getting promoted, like Haji Wright and Coventry City did. So it's not like he's going to the bottom of the championship, because, by the way, the bottom 6, 7, 8 teams in the championship are garbage. They always are. It's the rest of the league that's good. But the bottom 7 or 8 teams suck, and they always suck. They're basically glorified League One teams that shouldn't be there, and they're going to be fodder for everybody else. But that's how it always seems to work out. Anyhow, Pete says, yes, an MLS employee is all up in his feelings because one of their own has been criticized. Your boy has had so many poor performances for the U.S. and has been rightfully criticized for it. Leaving MLS and trying to push himself and improve is commendable. Both things are true. I've been watching your performative outrage. What are we doing? Every time the U.S. fails, but you'll never criticize the heart of the issue because they pay you to advocate for mediocrity. Cry harder. Pete always know how to make friends.
Pete's always out there to make friends. Yeah, absolutely.
He just... Oh, my goodness. Well, here's the thing. They have no connection, no mutual friends, none of that. So they're going to go at it. Like, this isn't happening between us and Taylor, even if we disagree. Because we wouldn't come at him like that, number one. We would just disagree if we did disagree, which we have disagreed with him before, Taylor 12, and then that would be it. On occasion, it's gotten heavy with Jimmy, but that was brief and over with, right? And Max, that was brief and then it was over with. But we made up and we moved along. But nobody said anything regrettable, right? Like cry harder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in not so many words, I kind of said more or less the same thing. Not even talking about Berhalter in that sense, but somebody says, why doesn't Twellman criticize MLS? And I said,
he can't.
He's not going to bite the hand that feeds him.
Why would he criticize MLS? That's his boss. That's his boss. He is, as we said about Max, and he did not take it personally when I said, I like Max, but he's compromised. And if he were honest with himself, he would say, yeah, I am compromised. I work for corporations. I couldn't go out there and talk shit about my company. I'd get fired if it went public, right? And I knew some shit. I can't say which corporation it was, but I was up in the higher echelons there, and I knew things that we did that were not right. I couldn't go public with it. That would have been horrible. I just did the right thing. I quit. Because I knew they were screwing people, so I quit. Anyhow,
this is why he deleted it, because people are like, why did Taylor delete the comment?
It wasn't exactly how I intended it. Also, I agree we need any and all critics and voices, so I didn't like what my tweet represented. Wow! Holy crap, tight shirt. Acquiescing. Well, I think that does show that you don't necessarily want to bite the hand that feeds you, but you also don't want to bite the next or entice the next door neighbor's dog who looks a little rabid to bite you either. Not that Pete's a rabid dog. I'm just saying Pete will pull no punches. He will bite you in the nutsack. So he's like, hey, whoa, doggy.
Yeah.
I meant to give you a milk bone. I'm sorry I approached you with a club. And I made it look like I was going to
poked you with my stick. Yeah.
Wow. I did not expect that.
But it's one of those things where I don't know if some people look at things and sit there and expect them to just sort of like once he claps back, he expects them to sort of just like sit down or he clapped back and using your dog as a reference. He's like, sit. And Pete was like, nah, fuck you.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I think Pete's response was harsh, but, you could have clapped back without biting so harshly. But, and you still got your point across, right? But
they need to learn. They need to learn their lesson.
But, sometimes it's good on occasion for some of us to be a bulldog. And that does make people change their ways. I'm not even kidding. It does. It has. I'm not going through the list of people who have changed quite a bit in the last 3 years. They cover the game, but they have. Because it's not about just us and Pete and Tact, and it's all you guys too. Nobody's letting anybody get away with bullshit anymore. No one. You guys are out there on Twitter, and if Doug McIntyre posts a shitty article, he's going to hear about it. Okay? There's no getting around it. People will come after you if you put up something that's a load of horse shit.
I'm sorry, but on the internet and being an influencer, or some kind of social media or with a corporation, that sense, deleting a response.
Oh, that's not a good look.
It's not a good look. Here's what you do. You kind of double down but gloss over and say, hey, we should be bashing our own. Maybe that came off harsh, and then you just mute the whole conversation. Because I'm sure nobody from his up said, hey, dude, you got to make peace on this. Nobody said that. What would probably end up happening is his notifications blew up, and he was getting flamed by a bunch of people online, and he was probably just sitting there going like, I don't want to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
No, it came off bad. That's not what I wanted to say, but blah, blah,
Kind of weird to delete it though. All right, as I'm having to do every 30 minutes or so, if you are, for the 202 of you that were here, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandma, and give your stepsister a kiss on the cheek from both Brett and I. All right.
You said yeah, kind of weird that he deleted it, but sort of like me. And I thought you were going to talk about how you have to delete your browser history every 30 minutes.
I don't, because I don't use.
Who's going to find it, right?
Yeah. It's just my laptop. I don't take this to work, buddy.
And if 7 years down the road when you pass away, of course, because you're like 9,000 years old,
right?
Who cares?
Thanks for the extras. Yeah, who cares? I don't care. I'm dead.
Who cares about your search history at that point, right?
It doesn't matter. And you're not going to be able to get into my laptop
it's not
anyhow.
7 years. I know it's not 7 years. At least 8.
Well, I know. I am having my blood pressure check. We'll see. All right.
We're all having tidbits of medical issues coming in, and a lot of that stems down from our food and our medical,
food, or crappy
all that
food.
shit.
Yeah. So I'm on blood pressure medication. I never have been in my life, but it's helping. I can already tell. I feel a lot better, and I'm less grouchy. All right. Angry American says for $2, thank you, my brother. If Poch returns, are y'all celebrating with OF vids?
The only of
OnlyFans.
Well, I'm trying to say OnlyFans because I don't want shit. I don't want to get littered with bots and shit.
Oh, it's too late.
When you start saying, you said it. I was like, only parts of the fandom. I was going to say something like that, just try to iterate what it is. But now you're just like, no, OnlyFans.
I don't know.
Although we haven't had a porn bot in our chat in a long time, knocking on. I'll take wood here.
I welcome them at this point.
You're looking for new links to research, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm not going to celebrate it.
Derek's going to post his own feet pics next to the pool.
Hell no.
It's like Poch.
Disgusting. Thanks, Poch. I'm not celebrating, Brett. I don't know about you. I mean, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's fine. Let's hope it gets better. We got 4 years to figure it out. Let's go do it. Like, if you haven't noticed, Brett and I don't get really high or really low. We just don't. Like, we don't go to bed with this on our minds. We love the game. We love the team. We love following the team. We love soccer. But both of us have families and kids, and that shit's way more important. That stuff stresses me out. All right? Not me so much anymore, but Brett, I'm sure. Then this is nothing to me.
Dude, it's life in general taking over compared to other aspects of the fandom of soccer and stuff. We had a big storm go through Indy today. How badly were you hit, Derek?
I mean, it was loud and the lights flickered. It was scary for a second.
We didn't have any power outage concerns or anything like that, but we did have trees that were swaying ridiculously in those hurricane gust wind we were having. And, I'm making dinner and stuff. All of a sudden you hear crack. And you look out and I see a branch fall, a big branch. Jack comes over and goes, Dad, the big branches are falling. I'm like, yeah, I see it. Thanks for letting me know. And then, go back to making dinner. Crack. Dad, a whole tree fell over. I'm like, what the fuck do you expect me to do, man? It's storming outside. And do you want me to go outside and hold all the trees up? I
got a motherfucking magic wand here?
He goes, I'm just letting you know. So when you look outside, you're not going to be surprised. I'm like, well, I appreciate that. And then all of a sudden the doorbell rang after the storm went through, and as my neighbor is behind us, and one of our big, healthy looking trees split right down the middle. Like halfway, it just goes whoop.
Wind or lightning?
Don't know what the fuck it was.
If it were lightning, you would have heard it.
It was definitely wind, I'm thinking personally. But so the aspects of life that are taking up my nights, my sleep of my nights, is now I'm going to have to pay somebody to come out here and chop and get that shit down,
Yep.
I mean, I don't have a chainsaw, but then again, that's a big fucking tree, and I don't want to be liable for any of that shit that might happen to it.
Sure, absolutely.
And this is a big fucking tree.
Yeah, that's life. Life is a bitch. Life throws curveballs constantly. Like, I'm trying to do all this soccer stuff because it's enjoyable. I don't want to purposely make it so it's unenjoyable, or it becomes such a big bummer when the U.S. loses that I can't go on anymore. So he's not. I can say he's not.
Never partook. Haven't partook in my entire life.
That would be
only drug I've partook is the booze.
So I used to do the show in its beginning eras, and when we first made our comeback on occasion.
Years of comeback, yeah.
But I'm about 3 years clean now. I haven't, if you want to call it clean. It ran out of, I don't know, it just didn't do anything for me anymore. So I stopped doing it. Maybe I'll start again, and it will, but no, I'm probably not going to do that. I'm getting too old for getting high like that.
I feel like that's generally speaking, when a lot of the population right now has been picking it up because they're getting older. Got to deal with that arthritis. You got to deal with coma and all that stuff.
Well, then I'll just go buy one of those THC drinks. I hear that does it all. You don't have to smoke it. My lungs, believe me, do not need any extra smoke.
Go
all right.
Travel to Michigan and get some edibles from a dispensary.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's that, but I hear the drinks are really good. Those THC drinks.
Yeah, he was pounding through those things, man.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Well. Here's the big thing. Because I mean, she was drinking them and stuff. This is before she got diagnosed with celiac, so it's kind of her attempt of trying to stifle some of the issues she was having.
Sure.
But problem was, man, she was drinking them, and I was like, dude, these fucking things, like 4-pack, are like $15. You know, it's like, god damn.
You really aren't supposed to have drink much of it either. It doesn't take much to get to a happy place. That's what I read. Well, I actually talked to my the local big red liquors guy and said, "Hey, you tried these? How did they make you feel?" He's like, "Yeah, I've tried them. They're pretty good. Like, it's kind of like that, but no paranoia. You get a little euphoria. You loosen up, you relax. It's kind of like all that, but without the weird stuff like the really good weed these days gives you." I'm like, I don't know anything about that. But anyhow. All right. So what else?
We should stop by Michigan and get some like high dose edibles and have you take some, and we'll do a recorded show.
I'd probably be
as high as the fucking kite.
Einheitsgebot. It's Berlin. That's the second time you brought it up. Listen, brother, I think those laws have really kind of held back the growth and the variety that I think German beer could be. Not that they don't have variety. You got your grosses and your dark, and then your lagers, and those are all fine. But I think the Germans could have learned a thing or two from the Belgians. Now, that might sound like I've broken some massive law by just saying that. But I am drinking a Belgian beer, and it is quite tasty. All right. Bacon.
I barely partook in edibles, but bake a THC-infused pizza. Maybe Mugota is onto something.
Brownies. But you got to be careful when you eat it, Brett, because you're not going to feel it for a while. And how many people have been like, it's been 20 minutes, I don't feel anything, give me another slice. And then you eat another slice. And then an hour later, you're freaking out. And you're like, I am way too high right now.
What am I supposed to do with my fingers?
I think somebody needs to call the hospital. An ambulance. Somebody needs to take me to the hospital. I'm freaking out. All right. What else we got?
Jumping back to topics and high takes and all. Derek, we've criticized soccer team names here stateside before. I mean, what the fuck? Why are they the Riverhounds?
Riverhounds are actually one of the better ones.
I know. I thought of something. I thought of something random there because obviously we know certain ones that are based off of disasters that you don't.
What's the one that's Railhawk?
Railhawk. That's what I should have. Yes.
I'm a railhawk. What the fuck's that? Like a bird that sits on top of a train? What?
So we've had this guy named Mark Valorian.
Okay.
Doesn't appear to be a footy fan. But I don't know, maybe I don't know. I haven't really dug through his profile, so I don't know. But he's dialed it down and figured out why soccer will never take off in the United States. So
because the team naming conventions. I'm watching a game between San Diego FC and FC Dallas. We are not in Europe. We don't call our soccer teams football clubs. Why the hell are we integrating foreign nomenclature into the top level branding of a team? It reads like we are trying to be someone else. Beyond that, SC Dallas doesn't even make sense in English. Football Club Dallas puts the modifier Dallas after the head down football club. This is a Romance language construction, grammatically common in Spanish or French, but not English. Those are all true. Everything he's saying is true. I don't know about the sentiment.
I'll get to that in here,
yeah.
Once you read through all it.
So not only are we using foreign terminology, we're also forcing foreign grammar into our brands. And then the core of the issue, bucking a ubiquitous trend in all other American sports. Literally every other American team uses the same nomenclature, city plus mascot. The Dallas Cowboys, Los Angeles Lakers, Boston Red Sox. It's the city and then a thing. It tells you where they are from and gives you some semblance of a brand to assign to the idea of the team. FC Dallas gives you nothing, no imagery, no brand, just a bland technical name to use to refer to the team. This is just one of the many foreign things about U.S. soccer that just makes it hard to get into as an American fan. If you want to take over the American market, you'll have to be authentically American. The MLS simply does not present that way in its current form. If anything, they come across as wannabe Europeans. Until the MLS manages to own its American nature, they will struggle. Well, listen, dude, I don't think that's the real problem. Honestly, the names are not really. You're like, this guy's like an English teacher or something. This is really bugging him. Well, I'll tell you, Brett, what bugs me are stupid names like the Tampa Bay Lightning and the OKC Thunder and the Earthquakes. I don't like teams named after fucking natural disasters. Can we stop that, please? So Avalanche, fuck that name. Don't care. Like, stick to animals. But that doesn't stop me from watching hockey or any sport. Well, I do think the names suck. I'll agree with that.
Here's what I said. Because I agree. I agree with everything you just said here. Except for the whole disaster thing, being a Chicago Fire fan. I can't get behind you on that one, Derek. But I do follow it up by saying, I assure you that anyone not into the sport of soccer is not hung up on the naming of the teams. They may giggle about it. You could argue the flopping, the draws, whether it isn't physical enough for your likings, the low score. But about 100 potential reasons later, you may come across the naming.
Agreed.
And after all that, I agree the Eurocentric naming is silly.
I agree.
So I brought this whole thing up because he's like, this is a big reason why it's not taken off in the United States and we're hung up on this. I'm like, it's silly, guys. The naming is we always joke around like, oh, it's FC, FC Dallas United, and then we do whatever, soccer club or throw that in there, why not?
Sure.
But it's like we always joke about that shit, and it's so
annoying.
Lame. It's lame.
Why
are we doing that?
I mean, I much I much liked it and preferred the days when we had the Tampa Bay Rowdies and the New York Cosmos and the Seattle Sounders. Obviously, some of these teams are still around, thankfully. Portland Timbers, Vancouver Whitecaps. So it's not like the whole league is littered with shitty names because a lot of those names still exist. I do agree that Real Salt Lake, what is the word Real in Spanish means royal. Yeah. What the fuck is royal about Salt Lake? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So Sporting KC is annoying, but at least nobody's using Sporting, right?
What other sports clubs do they have in there, though?
Yeah, exactly. Sporting clubs were created in Europe because they had swimming teams, volleyball teams, soccer teams, ping pong, table tennis, whatever you want to call it. They had multiple sports in the club. So that's why they were called sporting clubs. Okay? What does that have to do with Kansas City? Does Kansas City have a rugby team in that sporting club franchise I don't know about?
Maybe they do. I don't know. Yeah.
Do they sponsor a swimming team at Sporting Club Kansas City? No. So I get it, but that's not the reason people don't watch.
See, Anthony shows exactly why he doesn't watch. Says it's more so the shitty players, not the names.
Okay, but all right, there are some shitty players in the league, but it's not as bad as you think. I'm just telling you, it's not great, but it's watchable. It's about as watchable as watching Belgium soccer. I'm sorry, it's the same. There's not a whole lot of it. It's not way off from watching the championship, honestly. Now, did MLS suck 10, 20 years ago? It was awful. We had soap stars playing on LA Galaxy. Yes, it was egregiously bad. Okay, but it's not that bad anymore. Well, it was longer than that. Anyhow, around the 2000s, it was bad.
If you're comparing the league to the top leagues, yeah, okay, they're going to look shitty.
Correct.
But if you're going to compare them to any league outside of the top, there may be maybe to some degree less technical aspect or even tactical aspect for that matter. But I mean, it's a competitive league as far as the dropping down past the top 5 and stuff like that. And not saying that it's going to be better than this league or better than that league, but it's going to be in the competitive factor in that sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, there are certainly poor teams in MLS, and there's poor play. But you can find that in Belgium. You can find that in Holland outside of the top 4 teams. Italy, after the first 7 teams, doesn't look much better sometimes. So is it as good as Germany, the Bundesliga, or EPL? No. Spain? No. Yeah, I get it. It's not. So, but, we're not living up to those lofty standards yet. We're not there yet. Although all the signing of the South American talent that we've done over the last 4 or 5 years has absolutely improved the league. There are a lot of really good South American players that play in MLS. And they come here not just because they're retiring, because a lot of them are still in their 20s. The reason they come here is it's steady pay, that they know they're going to get a paycheck. And I can tell you there are a lot of leagues in South America where you're not really sure if you're going to get paid or not. And you're not getting paid as much as you would be if you come to MLS. So I think we've stole a lot of good talent from South America and otherwise and other places, and that's great. And I'm not sure about some of the signings we bring from Europe. Sometimes they work and sometimes they flop. But is it a great league? No, we're not a great yet. Is it something where you can root for a team locally and root for that? Yes. You don't think that in Westerlo, you don't think Westerlo fans know their team sucks? Their team sucks in Belgium. Do fans still come out and support Westerlo? Absolutely, they do. Even though they sucked last season. Hardcore. All right. So
Greg Turd Hauler says every MLS team is worth more than $7 million. Derek, are you telling me that $7 million club talent? Oh, sorry, are you going to tell me that $700 million club talent? Seriously?
No, they're not even close to that. But that's just the worth of the clubs. Keep in mind, you have to have cash free on hand. The reason these clubs are worth so much is not because they got a bunch of cash laying around. They don't. The owners, who are all, multi-millionaires, they're the ones putting out the cash. Their team is worth that. That is true. But that's not paper money. That's not money in the bank. That's just what the team is worth. They are going to have to raise the salary cap. They must raise it. This cannot go on any longer.
To some point, though, is the valuation of the club self-inflated value in that sense? Like they have, when you start off as San Diego did, and your at that point, your value of the club is what? It's going to be the $500 million that you invest, or you paid into the league. That's what your value is at that point. And you can increase or decrease from that point, depending on where you are in markets and stuff like that. But I mean, of course, you're going to have this inflated value. I mean, it's not like, you look at teams like whatever it was like Inter Miami's $1.2 billion, I think is its value. But are they going to be comparable to other clubs around the world that are worth that or worth less than that?
Yeah, put up Rangers Kings comment here. It's very good. And the team is only worth that much because their values are artificially inflated by a monopoly, which you just said. Yes, because you're protected. Your money, your team will always be right around. It's only going to go up because you can't be relegated, which sucks.
Yeah.
That exists nowhere else in soccer except Australia and now Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't working on Australia either. The fact that Mexico just announced they're not bringing back Pro Rel is an absolute abomination. It's sad. It's the end of a long, great history, even though their PNR system was fucking totally weird, right? Because it was about accumulation of bad play over so many years. Argentina does the same thing. Like for Boca Juniors to get relegated, they have to be bad over like 4 years in a row. Even if they finish last, they can't go down in some circumstances because it's how bad you are over so many years, which is a weird system. But at least they had something, right?
I guess that prevents a fluke of a season. You know, Tottenham, after all their years of being a top dog in EPL, and I say top dog, I mean top upper table at least, has struggled of late. And, you know, there are times where they were staving off relegation at times, you know. So that, I guess that concept would be what, to just prevent a historic team from being relegated because of one bad season.
Yep. So they had those kind of condoms, relegation condoms, if you will, for historic teams like River Plate and in Argentina and Boca Juniors. You literally had to be shite for so many years in a row before you would go down. Anyhow, it's a complicated system. I'm not going to go into the details, but at least they still had Pro Rel. At least there was hope if you were a Division II team. So what is a condom? Well, I guess you're going to have a lot of babies. If you have a girlfriend, your stepsister maybe. Anyhow, MLS teams this season averaged 3.65 Americans per game, which is up from past years. And 1.23 of those Americans are under 23. This average has held pretty steady all season. And with wide differences between some of the teams, some who play no Americans at all, like Miami on the regular. I'm not going to point at the Canadian teams because, after all, they're really Canadian. Yeah, they're developing Canadian players, not Americans. So,
the number may be increasing, at least from the Chicago side. They're contemplating recalling Cups back from the U20s because we've had an injury at the center back position. So. Who knows? Maybe Cups will find his way back onto the starting lineup.
Did you watch that U.S. Haiti game?
No. I don't have Fox Sports too, so.
It was meh. Meh is how I would describe it. Yeah, we won 2-0, I think, in the end. 3. Okay. But Haiti had a lot of chances. And that team, by the way, that we brought is like our BC team of our U20s. Because teams in Europe wouldn't release, and really good players in MLS, they weren't released either, like players that play. So bottom line here on this one, I think it's something to talk about. Red Bulls and San Diego, exceptional because they're playing up to 4 and 3 U23 Americans per game. And then you can see the breakdown for your team if you have one. The point being that this is a lot better than it used to be, but you still get to the bottom and you're thinking, what the fuck are Houston, Chicago, Austin, Minnesota, Portland, Charlotte, Miami, NYFC, LAFC? What are they doing with their academies that they're required to have? A, not playing them.
Roster fillers.
Yeah, they're roster fillers. They don't play. So what's the point of having, is your academy just there for shits and giggles? Or are you actually going to develop somebody? Because some of you are in amazing parts of the country where there are a shit ton load of players. And you're not actively finding the good ones? What's wrong with you? Mm-hmm. And somebody's like, well, these club teams aren't really responsible for developing U.S. men's national team players. No shit, dick. I already knew that. No, they're responsible for developing the best players, most cost-effective way for their club. And they're not clubs. They're franchises, dickhead. Number 2. All right, it's MLS. They're franchises, not clubs, not independent clubs. And so, yeah, you can really put together a really cost-effective team if you develop your own talent. And by the way, you can sell it later. So it's a good business model. And if by chance you develop a few U.S. men's national team players along the way, all the better. All the better. I know how this works, clown. I wasn't born yesterday. All right, anyhow.
Yeah.
That's all I got for this.
I don't know. I'm watching obviously Chicago Fire games, and I'm watching some of the players that they tout out there, and I'm sitting there going, I feel like our academy guys could do just as good as some of these guys. Why are we spending an international spot and X amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars on a guy that I think an academy player could do just as good?
Yeah. Well, a lot of guys are afraid to play academy players, especially if their team sucks already, because they don't want it to get worse. But I will say this, Red Bull got their asses smashed this weekend. I watched that. That was not pretty at all. Yeah. Anyhow. Oh, and this 250,000 views. This is one of those posts I make. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to put this out there. I didn't think anybody would care. Diomande, now worth $100 million for Leipzig, had trials and was rejected. I have to fix that. I can't now. It's already up. Not taking it down. By Charlotte in Colorado and Rangers in Scotland, he would have been a free signing. That is true. Everyone assessing talent at these close franchises needs to be fired immediately. Congrats to Leganes and Leipzig, who noticed talent. Somebody wrote and said, oh, they did notice he was good. Everybody knew he was a good player. Well, nobody made a serious offer. And yes, he wasn't rejected. He was made offers, at least by, I think it was Charlotte. But his agent, this is also on Diamande's agent, wanted it was a ridiculous amount. I've been told, I don't want to quote the numbers because I don't know how accurate they are, but I had a bunch of people texting me and telling me stuff. And yes, his first agent was a piece of shit, because even Rangers came out in an article and said, we didn't sign him because his fucking agent was a rabid animal who wanted nearly $1 million to sign him, just in his fee alone. Now, that's what Rangers said. I would imagine he did the same thing to the MLS teams. And then Diomande came out later and said, well, I never really wanted to go and sign for an MLS team or anything like that anyhow, because I want to go to Europe. Well, no shit.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go to Europe, but you got to have a backup plan. And so had an MLS team made an actual serious offer, who knows what would have happened? They could be selling him now for a lot of money, or getting paid off from it, right? So anyhow, that being, they didn't reject him, but they did lowball his offers. But I do have to include the fact now that they've done a shit ton more research, and actually less research than people emailing me and texting me and telling me what really happened behind the scenes. His agent was a fucking asshole and demanded ridiculous shit. And number two, the offers were low. He was an unknown quantity. And even though he trialed for the teams, their dicks weren't blown off. They weren't going to offer him like millions of dollars. They weren't willing to do that. It wasn't until, in fact, he got to Leganes with his new agent, signed there, impressed immediately in their B team, and was immediately promoted to their A team. That's when everybody said, whoa. And that's when Leipzig said, whoa. And they signed him. And now Madrid want him. But it was a missed opportunity because he was here for almost 3 years. Okay. The United States.
How, over the course of one season with Leipzig, he went from a market value of 1.5 mil all the way up to 90 mil.
Yep. It was a missed opportunity here in the United States. He was playing 4th division ball here.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a missed opportunity. Somebody didn't need, and he was the player of the season in that league. Okay. So he needed to have people crawling all up. But he did also trial for Chelsea. Bournemouth was another team he trialed for. Apparently they missed it too. or that same agent was still there. I don't know, but I have never read that there was an actual serious offer from Chelsea or Bournemouth. Shit, he'd be like the third best player on Chelsea if he were there now. That's how good that guy's going to be, or is already. So, all right. That being that, I had to address it. All the comments section, and I hope that I'll just refer people to here in this show if they have more complaints about that post. The Luna cult is something. Them and the Reina cult are in for a rude awakening when the next gen of 10 prospects knocks them out. Okay, which ones are those going to be?
Well,
all right.
That's what Calcium Moneyball was asking. He's like, who are these prospects?
Okay, I mean, there's a lot of them. They're literally hundreds. People keep posting the same fucking 20 names up day after day. Shut the fuck up. There's literally hundreds of these kids out there in the Bundesliga, in Spain, in Holland, even in Italy, in here and there cases. All right? Even in England. If I added them all up, we're talking about hundreds of prospects. We don't know which ones. We know which ones look more likely to work out, but we really don't know. There are things. It's called regression, injuries. There are some players that's going to come out of nowhere that we've never heard of and be awesome. And we're going to be like, wow. All right. So we don't know who's going to work out and who's not, but the percentage is going to be small.
Can we like Monday?
Right. Like sometimes you just miss them too, right?
Yeah.
So can we stop with this? Here's my list of 10. Here are my list of 20. Well, I would guarantee you your list of 10 has like one or two guys are going to make it off your list of 10 as a serious contributor to the United States men's national team. Because that's how it's always been. Always been. Okay. How? Sullivan, Pierre, Gozo, Mehmeti all look better at their age than Richards, Pulisic, Adams, and Weah did at theirs. No, they don't. No, they don't.
It's funny because Richards. Let's see. I'll pull my list here real quick because I had to do this last second. But Richards and who's next?
Richards was in Bayern already.
Richards and Adams were already in Europe playing with Hoffenheim and Leipzig at that point. Pulisic was at 16 was playing for Dortmund, and Weah at 18 was at PSG, but then he got loaned out to Rangers, which was his first minutes. So I'm just like, I mean,
Pulisic was
looking
already
better.
Yeah,
I mean they're looking better because
okay,
of those four players, only Adams really played in MLS, and even then, Adams is good in MLS.
Well, he might be right or wrong or whatever, but being this definitive about it is ridiculous. You don't know this, mister, whoever what his fucking name is. What's his name? Scroll up. What's this weasel's name? The Wild Cur. Listen, dude, you're being so confident and definitive about something that I'm not sure is that definitive. I am not sure. They all look better than all those players already. I don't think you can definitively say that. I'm not sure you know how quickly Pulisic rose to be a starter or a regular at Dortmund. I'm sure. I think you might have missed it. I think you missed it. So I just would never post anything this subjective and also be that definitive about something this subjective. It's really arrogant. You just come off like a real cocksucker.
Yeah, well, I mean, the point is, obviously, all the players that he listed as far as the next generation are all promising talents.
Yes, they are.
They can certainly pan out. They may not pan out. But let's not forget that the league that they're playing in, there are players that are excelling at great leagues that just aren't national team quality. I mean, I know we brought in Brian White a couple of times, but how many times has he scored 12, 13, 14 goals for Vancouver?
A lot. On the regular for 2 or 3 seasons in a row. And Sullivan? Yes, Sullivan just had the best game I've ever seen him play in MLS, and I've watched every game he's played this season. That's the first game I honestly thought he made a difference. Now, he's got to do that every night. Every night. Sullivan is not a lock. Pierre, wonderful kid. Love his height. Love his build. Love everything about him so far. Is he a lock? No. Gozo. Looked really good at the beginning of the season. Didn't look so good last couple games. Is he a lock? I hope so. But if you're going to hang your hat on it, it's a for sure. Well, get ready to be disappointed. Things happen. And Mehmeti, while he looks like to be the best of all of them in a lot of different ways, it's not a lock, man. Shit happens. Players regress. Players try to take a step forward and they can't do it. We're not really sure. Your guess at their ceiling is just that, a guess. It's a guess. Because it's not just about technical ability. It's about mental acuity. It's about mental strength. Those things are hard to tell right now. Okay, so that's it. So don't be so definitive about shit you don't know about. Don't commit yourself to a bunch of players that haven't proven anything yet as being better than Richards, Pulisic, Adams, and Weah. Might be better than Weah. Weah's looking like shit for his club and country lately, but his confidence is shot. And that's just the point, right? Confidence can get shot.
Any of these players would be happy as a pick and shit to have the national team career that Weah's had so far. So even if he's on a downward trajectory right now, given his club performances over the last couple of years, he still started off strong while playing under Berhalter in that sense.
Put up Colin's last comment.
This one?
So basically, Derek gets to decide who gets to have their own opinion or not. No, he's allowed to have his fucking dumbass opinion and be as definitive and as sure about it as he wants. He's absolutely allowed to do that. And I absolutely have the right to tell him that's foolish. You cannot be that sure about this. Listen, there are other shows that go out there and tell you who the next bee's knees players are. We don't do that on this show. We don't tell you who's a lock for the future because there's no fucking such thing. We've been around for 40 years. I have, covering this game. Brad's been around watching it since he was, a little shyster. And we've been covering it for about 20-something years. I could tell you, more than that for me, 30. I could tell you there's no such thing as a lock because Brad and I have seen them all come and go. All come and go. There have been hundreds and hundreds of prospects, thousands that we have watched over the last 30 years between Brett and I.
It's just there's been too many prospects over the years that were the next big thing. And then maybe they do well in MLS. Maybe they move to Europe before they even have a professional game under their belts. And either they fizzle out or they just become an average player.
Yep. That happens all the time, people. We're just warning you so you're not miserable down the road because you fully committed your soul, your heart, and everything you believe in Kevin Sowell. And then when he doesn't work out, you're like, oh my God, what a bummer. I really believed in that kid. Now I'm going to heap a load of criticism on him for not working out because that's what happens too when these players don't work out. People jump all over their nutsack and call them names, call them lazy or didn't have any heart, didn't try hard enough, or whatever reason you want to come up with.
I think a lot of the time what ends up happening with these prospects is, you have the fans in the forums and on Twitter and on social medias and just in life in general that come at the expectation that they may have the next big thing. And then when they don't pan out, they completely forget about them and they move on to the next big thing and they come in their pants about that. Yep. And it's just there's a lot of oh, this guy's going to be it. This is going to be it. And nothing pans out from it. And I'm not saying that we don't get serviceable players. We can absolutely look back at the players who've made it to the USMNT national team and said, we were talking about them at the youth level. We knew they were going to be good.
We did.
But there's always a possibility that Pulisic made his move to Dortmund and then just got drowned out by talent there and didn't pan out. And then all of a sudden we'd be sitting here like, Pulisic, who, the guy that plays for FC Dallas right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Right.
Anything's possible, guys. So they may be looking great right now. I mean, Sullivan, like we said, Sullivan he started coming into his own. Maybe he'll continue.
One good game so far.
I'm just saying.
One excellent game so far for Philly. One.
You can make your arguments about Hall. You can make your arguments about Gozo, Mehmeti, and all that stuff, and other players that are having great MLS seasons right now. And you can sit there and say, I think these are going to be promising players. I think these players stand a chance. They're good prospects. Yep. But to sit there and say they look better at their age than these players, come on.
That panned out.
Let's wait and see, guys.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You're allowed to have your opinion. I'm allowed to crush your opinion as arrogant, subjective, overly definitive before you're already breaking out the lube for these guys. You have no clue whether they're going to make it or not. No one does. So quit pretending you're fucking Nostradamus.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. We don't do that on this show. We don't.
I feel bad.
We keep it real. Huh?
I feel bad for the Kevin Paredes, #1 Kevin Paredes fan on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like putting all of his eggs in that basket.
All he did was track Kevin Paredes. Yeah.
Oh man, rough.
Right.
Well, he'll rebound at Utrecht. Okay. And I feel bad for him because I mean I liked Kevin too. I thought great things for Kevin. Then he got injured a number of times and just hasn't rebounded since.
Yeah. So don't overinvest is all we're saying. Don't overinvest in a player because
that's what and I've had my issues with Calcio Moneyball in the past before, but he says learn to appreciate what you have. Maybe the future looks grim to him, but I don't think it looks grim.
It's not grim.
I see positive things on the future, but I'm just saying, hey, let's not immediately drop what we have and just go prospect.
I broke up a fight between a couple guys that were like, one said, the sky's falling, and the other one said, well, it's shiny and bright. It's both things can be true at the same time. It's true there are more prospects now than there ever has been. We're talking about hundreds in MLS. And we talk a lot about the MLS kids. We've totally forgot about all the kids in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
We had a list of 25 players who are on Bundesliga teams this season that might get to play this season. All young, all in their teens. I think one of them was 20. But those are all prospects too. And we haven't even brought up all the kids that people continue to pump out on Twitter. Oh, look, this guy is a dual net. Oh, look, this guy's a dual net. Well, we start adding that up. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of prospects. We have no idea which ones of those are going to work out. We don't. But the good news is what I told them. The good news is there's a lot of them. But the more tempering news is to understand that the reality is only a small percentage of them will ever contribute to the U.S. men's national team. All right. Bang.
Eddie Gavin was once the
I remember the Eddie Gavin. Yeah, Eddie Gavin.
Justin Mapp was highly touted too.
Oh God, we had a bunch back in the days. Rankin. Yeah.
But again, similar to what your boy
Salalem.
Salalem.
Yeah.
He suffered by not having any knees.
Rankin no knees.
Was constantly injured. His knees just gave out completely.
Josh Scott. Yep.
Yeah. Again, spaghetti tendons.
Yep. So Sebastian Soto, another great example. Conrad de la Fuente, who even friends of ours thought was the bee's knees and the next best thing since sliced bread.
Mendez, Ledesma, I mean, they're all.
And I told them,
youth system.
I told them, you're
Breck Shea.
You're going crazy too early. You're going crazy too early. And then as soon as, even after Conrad had his problems, people were like, "Oh, he's still gonna be great. Give him a chance." Well, where is he now? Yeah, back at Lausanne after a loan to a second division team in Spain. We'll see what happens. Not absolutely. Andrew Carlton, that was one too.
Yeah, I got a tweet of his pulled up here. Actually, we'll go over that in a little bit.
We can move on from this then. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Speaking of players who start their career in MLS and go over to Europe, mind you, just to come back. James Sand's back with the NYCFC.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at him saying, well, geez, he managed to go over to the Bundesliga for a short spell
and be a leader on his team
and do surprisingly well. I mean,
yes,
given all things. And I look at those 4 players that the one guy in the previous slide mentioned, and I'm looking at them saying, well, they've got a higher trajectory than he does, but he actually made it over there. What the point being is, if you had James Sands at their age with those 4 other guys, and you got to say, hey, pick one that's not going to make it, everybody would have picked James Sands. But he managed to go over to Europe. He managed to go to
especially after the Simon Rangers.
Yeah. But then he went to Bundesliga, did well enough there, given the team he was part of, and mind you, ended up getting injured for a long spell and had to come back.
Didn't they get relegated to St. Pauli?
I think so.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's tough to sit here and predict. You're looking at these youth prospects, and yeah, they look great. They're youthful. They got energy. They're confident in themselves. We'll see.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see. That's why we always said, this is why U.S. men's team prospects blocked me. I said, dude, you're whipping out the lube way too early on these players. Stop whipping out the lube. They're too young anyhow.
We know this. We know that the MLS owns all the contracts. We talked about this.
What do you think?
Maybe like 30 minutes ago when we talked about
born yesterday.
We were talking about how Gozo wanted to move here in at the end after the World Cup was over, and his contract ends on the 27th. But MLS has 2 more extension years going through the 29th. So the ball is in MLS court. Yeah. It doesn't matter. We know that MLS owns the contract rights.
Jay says it just sounds like you're yelling at us when you do all caps.
Yeah, seriously.
Why are you yelling at me? Yes, we know that. All right, what else we got?
Hold on, I gotta move something here. I guess
I gotta move something here too.
Hey-o.
I'm not gonna show it on the film.
Here, you got 14 seconds. Go, Derek.
Transfer news. Who's getting mounted on transfer news? Who's getting over on transfer news? Transfer news. Everyone loves that transfer news, but me. Whatever.
All right, for the 255 of you here now, make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandma. We do need you to like and subscribe. That apparently does help the show quite a bit. And ask for your stepsister. Hey, give her a kiss on the cheek for us. Maybe a snuggle. We miss her. All right. Breaking from Tom. Don't bogart that joint, my friend. Breaking FC Dallas, Football Club Dallas, has signed 15-year-old U.S. Youth National Team attacker Benji Flowers to a big homegrown deal, plus a pre-agreed transfer to Chelsea when he turns 18, where he will be loaned out indefinitely, per sources. Chelsea can pay up around $10 million for Flowers, initial $3 million plus $7 million add-ons. That's a lot of money for Flowers. Yeah, again, another player I'm happy for him, I guess, in a sense. I'm not really a big fan of being sent to the loan machine that is Chelsea. But if he gets to train with the first team ever, I think that's a bonus.
I feel like for $3 million plus add-ons, I feel like Benji probably could have, had a better opportunity that might actually see him play for the team.
Yeah.
I mean, the $7 million add-ons is rough to duplicate for a middling team, especially for a 15-year-old at that point. But I mean, he'll be at obviously he's going to be at FC Dallas for a couple years, and then move over. Mind you, maybe he'll get some training stints to go over to Chelsea and see the facilities, hang out with the guys, and then just before he signs off his loan at 18.
Hopefully, he's playing for the FC Dallas first team. Okay, by the time he leaves for Chelsea, one would hope that would be the case. All of the talk is that he's a really good player. By the way, it's initial $3 million plus $7 million in strap-ons, not add-ons.
Nice.
So be careful there when that's the case. But let's not break out the lube. We have seen this before, right? Matt Miazga, right? Not coach. Your homeboy, We've seen this.
Slonina.
Yeah, Slonina. We've seen this game before. Right. I mean, they're Man City Loan Army too. We've seen that game before.
Wiley.
So Wiley, great example. Where the fuck is Wiley going to go? You know it's going to be a loan because he ain't playing for Chelsea ever. And Calvin Sullivan, if he ever plays for Man City as a regular, it will be a fucking minor miracle. It really will. It will be a miracle. Because that's just not how the story has gone so far for our supposed best going to the EPL at a young age.
I'm curious in your take on this, but what would be more beneficial for MLS? Selling these youthful prospects for ridiculous sums to clubs where they're most likely not going to play for those clubs, and they're just going to get loaned out for middling European sides. Or would it be better to take a pay hit on the transfer fee and send them to a place that's willing to play them, willing to to move up throughout Europe? And then all of a sudden you're sitting there going like, "Hey, I'm trying to think of an example. Tyler Adams, we trained him, in New York Red Bulls, and now he's playing in Bundesliga. He's playing in EPL. That's got to be a better argument for, hey, come play at MLS and we'll move you to Europe than saying, hey." That Miazga guy, he went to Europe too. Who did he play for? Don't worry about it.
You are talking like a man with a brain, Brett. The problem is that FC Dallas simply wants to sell to the highest bidder. They're not really worried about the fact that if they send him to Chelsea and Chelsea crushes his soul, they won't make any money after that because they just made their $3 million. And if it does work out, they're going to make another $7 million. Excellent. Okay. Or they're going to make whatever percentage of that. Right. So they're not worried about his soul getting crushed, which I think you're completely smart when you say, well, why not sell him to a Bundesliga team that will actually play him and his worth will continue to go up and you continue to collect on money going forward. You don't maybe sell him at 10 mil, you sell him at 6 or 4, and then you at least now have the good feeling if you're FC Dallas that if he goes to Hoffenheim or whoever, they're going to work on him and play him. And he's going to get better. And by the time Hoffenheim or Leverkusen or whoever sells him, he's going to be worth 60 million or 50 million or 40 million. So this comes down to maybe a couple things too, because we're not on the inside. Does FC Dallas really believe in Flowers? And it's hard to tell from the sale whether they do or don't, because this sale could mean either of two things. Let's make our money up front because we don't really think he's going anywhere anyhow. Or we really believe in him and we think we're going to make a lot of money and he's going to play for Chelsea eventually. I don't know. I think it's more the first than the second. I think they're kind of like, we're just lucky to get this 10 million now. Let's just take it.
Yeah.
Because the chance he's working out and becomes a star are pretty small because they're not stupid. They're like us. They realize that a small percentage of these players work out. However, I think your methodology certainly makes more sense for the player and is certainly a more humane way of looking at it. If you really, really care about Benji Flowers and you're Dallas, you're like, no, Chelsea, I get it. But then again, you also have to take into account that Flowers and his agent, when they heard the word Chelsea, they're all over that like flies on shit. Yeah. They want to go there. So there's so many different, I just talked about 3 different ways of looking at this. And so any of those 3 ways or all of those 3 ways or 3 things, they're all a part of the equation. Right? All right. LA Galaxy Academy. Yeah, what are you guys up to? We have loaned Academy product and Ventura County FC midfielder Dylan Vanny, the coach's son, to Real Betis in Spain, La Liga and he's actually with the U20 team. He was all right in the game against Haiti. He's all right. Okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I wish him well.
It's an interesting loan up, quite frankly.
It's a big move. But these things are often kind of like, well, Vanny knows somebody at Real Betis, whether it be a co-owner or someone part of the training staff that he knows. Mm-hmm. And he's made a few phone calls. And they said, hey, I know he may not play, but I think it'd be good for his development. Would you guys be open to having my son join you? Yeah. I know it'll be a loan, but trust me, it won't cost much at all. We'll make sure of that. Yeah. So I wish Dylan Vanny the best. I hope he learned something from it, but honestly, I just feel like he's going to end up back here.
Sure.
So how old is he? Like 18? Dylan Mulvaney.
18. Yeah.
Okay. He's 18. He is still on the 2 team at LA Galaxy at 18. Correct, Amundo?
Yeah, but LA Galaxy's having a great season right now.
Yeah, he's an academy player. He's 18, which is a man. He's still at Ventura County or the academy. He is not that amazing of a prospect. Otherwise, he'd be getting playing time on LA Galaxy because they fucking suck.
Why don't they?
He would at least be on the bench.
Ventura County.
We've said this before. If you're 18 or 19 or 20, you are basically, and you're not playing, and at least on the first team, you're probably not that special. Okay? You're not that special. You could work and become a Berhalter, like Berhalter finally did at Vancouver, and be a late bloomer, but you're not something that special. And by the way, late bloomers like Berhalter are rare. They are rare. They're a rare breed. Very rare. All right.
Weird that the Galaxy 2 team is not named LA Galaxy 2.
What are they named?
Ventura County FC.
Okay. They changed that years ago, though, didn't they? Like 2 years ago? Maybe? I don't know.
Everybody else has 2 behind their, next pro team. Dylan is a next pro.
Yeah, I wish him well. All right.
This is less of a transfer news, and I meant to pull this up as just a dual nap, but I couldn't find it in time before we transitioned over to something, so it got lumped in here.
Yes, it's Feyenoord and Dutch U17 right back. Joshua Brennick van Keulenberg, which
it's a fucking mouthful.
I mean, you'd think he's the son of a count with that kind of name. You really would. But he's not. He's 17. He's still on the U17 team. If you are still on the U17 team and you are 17, that is not a good sign. Okay? It's not. People, it's not. That's not a good sign. He's 17. He's still on the U17 team. That means he's not that special.
No, he's on the Dutch U17, but still.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're right. Dutch. Okay, maybe so. Okay, born in Rotterdam, logged 2 goals, 2 assists from fullback, called up US U17s last March, displays both flags on IG. An excellent addition for the U.S. men's national team youth pipeline if they manage to get him. Well, it's not about managing to get him. He can play for both fucking teams forever. None of those things lock him down. So he can flip-flop for a while. Okay, the new rules allow him to do that. Nobody can predatorily cap him until he goes to a big boy team. And then he'll have to make the decision. That's when we manage to get him or not get him. So we need to be really clear about that. Rob Garcia asks, hey, Derek, how'd you become a Galaxy fan being from Indy? Shouldn't you be a Fire fan? No, that's Brett.
That's me.
Spread. So I became a Galaxy fan because when my son was 5, 6, 7 years old and he played soccer, he loved Landon Donovan. We watched the World Cup together during that time. He became a huge Landon Donovan fan. Then Beckham went to the Galaxy, and then it was Landon Donovan and Beckham, and he loved that. So every time they were on TV, I put them up. We watched the games together. So I didn't start out a Galaxy fan, and then he was so into it. I got sucked into it, and then I became a Galaxy fan too. We became Galaxy fans together. And
it also didn't help that Derek has the David Beckham, Calvin Klein poster above his bed.
I still do. And the loop right next to me. No, but my son had Landon Donovan and Beckham. Quit being sick. My son used to have the Beckham poster and the Donovan poster on his wall. And he had a Beckham and a Donovan jersey. So, his passion for that team, I just jumped on board. So that was a long time ago. We're talking 2006, 7, 8, not somewhere all those years. And I just stuck with them since, and it's been some really bad times lately.
By the way, Joshua is currently playing for Feyenoord's U19 team.
Okay, so that's good. That's good. It's with the U19s. He needs to be moved up to the 2 team at least, though, at this point. Can't be playing for the U19s for much longer because you're already 17. You got hair on your nuts, and by the time you're 18, you're full on ready to raise a family. So let's become the full man that you are. Here's another case of not going to be much of anything and not special. Kelvin Luis Brito is currently on trial in Brazil for Cruzeiro. The 2008 born player, what would that make him? 22?
18.
Oh, 18. 18. He's been a standout for the Seattle Standards Academy for a number of years now. Hello, there are a bunch of teenagers and young players already playing on the Seattle team on the regular. Why isn't he there if he's so fucking special?
It's possible, Derek, that he didn't want to sign with Seattle, and he wants to venture outside of MLS. He's got Brazilian citizenship, so maybe he.
Don't you think that if he were really good, Seattle would have played him by now? Because Seattle are not adverse to playing young players. They've been doing it.
If he was really good and Seattle wanted to play him, they'd have to sign him first.
Well, he's been with them.
No, he's been with their academy team.
No, that's the same thing as being signed. They can move him up out of the academy anytime they want to.
Just being part of the academy doesn't mean you've signed, Eric.
But they
could sign him. Yes, I agree. I'm just saying maybe Kelvin doesn't want to play for Seattle, and he waited till he turned 18. Although he has citizenship in Brazil, so he could have moved over there.
He could have moved over there already.
But maybe the opportunities didn't arise until just now. I don't know. I don't know his story. I don't know him as a player.
Or maybe he's really not that good. Maybe he's not that special. So we'll see. We'll see. But if you're already 18 and you're on a team that likes to sign and play young players, then Brett's out is the only way you got. He just didn't want to sign for Seattle. Otherwise, man, if he's that good, he'd already be, because Seattle likes to pump out some young guys. They like to play them and sign them. They've been doing it all season. I don't remember where they are on the chart, but it's not. It's pretty high as far as playing academy players, signing and playing them this season. They've been playing a lot of youngsters. So, I mean, listen, I could be wrong about some of these guys. I don't know. All I know, the signs usually tell me. They usually tell me. And by the way, I'm almost 99.999. You can say I'm shitting on these players, but I've just been right my whole life about this. I can usually tell that they're not going to work out based on their age. Like somebody was like, oh, this great player. Well, he's 19 and he's playing on the U19s. He's not that good. Pulisic was playing for the big boy team when he was 16. That's special. A U19 player playing for the fucking U19s in the Bundesliga is not special. He might become a late bloomer. He might become a Berhalter somewhere in his career, But again, that is rare. You're already 19. You should already be making a statement. That's how soccer works. You can say that shitting on a player. I'm just telling you reality-wise how that works typically. You may not like it, but that's how this works. It's just how it works. If you're a special player, you're not waiting until you're 19 or 20 years old to break out on a team that you're with, whether it's the Bundesliga or MLS. You're getting playing time like Kevin Sullivan is now at 16 years old in MLS because he's special. I mean, at least it's assumed he's special. We don't know how special he's going to be. Let's not whip out the lube yet. Last game looked good. Looked good. Got to keep watching. Got to keep watching. I'm watching. I'm tuning into RSL, New York Red Bulls, Philadelphia. I'm watching all these MLS games just to track these players every weekend, every time they play. Haven't missed one this season yet. I'm going to keep it up, and I will give you my opinions on those players, and Brett will too when he, has time to watch those games. But I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. Nothing.
All right. Breaking: Red Bulls New York homegrown goalkeeper Aiden Stokes is set to join Brentford on loan, per sources.
Okay.
A lot of MLS to Europe loans going on here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good opportunity to go over and just learn some shit. He'll play with the Brentford. I hate that they don't put the Brentford youth squad because he's not playing for the big boy team. That's not happening.
It is. Yeah, that would have been the big question mark. I mean, a young goalkeeper going over to Brentford, he's not going to be playing. So clearly, it's just going to be training and development.
Yep.
And then, like you said, he might play for like some of the youth academy at that point.
Yeah, he'll play for the two teams.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Just like the one kid that's going to Betis. It's nice. Was it Betis?
It's nice. It's a good opportunity for them to learn. That's it. We'll keep an eye on it. But if anybody's expecting Aiden Stokes to be playing for Brentford in the EPL this season, they are smoking some shit. Bad shit.
But maybe he goes there and presses, and then a year down the road or whatever, they come back and pull him up as their second or third.
That'd be magical if that happened, Brett.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be some fucking Disneyland stuff. Okay.
Wish I had some sound effects going on here.
Little
little
fairies,
fairy dust going across the screen.
Fairy dusts, yeah.
Well, let me see what I got going on here. Let me see. This is the closest thing I got to fairy dust.
Yeah, he's not even started at New York Red Bulls. Yes, good. I know. That's why we're saying
he's got to beat out Horvath. Come on, that's tough.
That's really hard. Horvath is a grizzled veteran who sat the bench so much in his career. He's finally put his foot down and said, I will sit no more.
It wouldn't surprise me, though, if Horvath ended up getting benched for some academy kid.
I don't know who their two keeper is, but
no either.
I don't think he's been the problem lately, though.
Oh, we're finally talking about Kevin Sullivan here.
Joseph Larry
Joseph
says Kevin Sullivan was bright last night, albeit against a young and poor defensive Red Bull New York team. Still, seeing Kevin, Frankie Westfield, Neil Pierre, and Audrey Mametti and Julian Hall play crucial roles last night is special. Next gen of talent is here. Yes, there are next gen of prospects are here. Yes. Mm-hmm. Long-term, Kevin Sullivan has to be converted to an 8. Well, what? Why? Okay, I'll keep reading. A box-to-box midfielder. Okay. He can become deadly there as he develops. All right. He will have to cut the over-dribbling and flashy plays, which are cool, but ineffective anyway. Yeah, sometimes. He could become a B2B, box-to-box with goals and assists in him. I mean, maybe. I don't know why he'd have to play an 8. Why couldn't he be a 10? Oh, that's right. A lot of teams don't play 10s anymore.
Come on, Sid. attacking wide. I mean, that's kind of what he does for Philly. Yes,
He does play out wide for Philly. I don't know if that's a problem. Lots of teams play wide players. I don't know about him as an 8. Let's see. Here's the other thing I noticed about Kevin since the summer break. It looks like he's grown an inch, maybe more. You ever had that one summer you grew like 3 inches? I did. I mean,
you're talking about long, not high, right?
I meant my height, not my
So
penis.
you spent all summer stretching it out, huh?
Hey, you gotta do something. I don't know. It looks like he grew a bit to me. Not in the crotch area. I think he looks taller. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I could be, but he does look taller.
Quinn Sullivan.
Oh, I don't know if he's as tall as his brother's, like 5'10", right?
My internet's slowed down. Hold on 1 second.
That's all those damn tabs he had open.
I know, right? They should be speeding up here.
And still do.
Whatever, 1.8 meters. Why do I go to transfer market? 1.8 meter.
Yeah. That's actually.
Let's go to Wikipedia. There we go.
Like
5'11".
Yeah, 5'11", 6 foot. Yeah. All right. So
the reason I was looking that up, assuming, let's just say him and his brother get approximately the same size, because Kevin's 16. He's got a couple more years to grow still.
Maybe
one more year.
Who's still growing at 18?
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, it's possible. Yeah. It's possible. But I mean, the argument against say tact in this situation, where like you look at a box 8 compared to his wide role right now. And Kevin is a physical player. Like, he goes in on stuff, and he has no problem confronting players, which I don't know if you saw him against the Seattle kid.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually that video makes me kind of want to watch Seattle to see how that kid produces.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I love it because there were a bunch of people that came out like, oh, the Hawkins should have gotten a yellow card. I'm like, a yellow card for what?
Yeah,
going for that 50-50 ball and getting to it first?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Why not? That's the problem with soccer these days, right?
Yeah. Well,
no, but I mean, converting to an 8, box-to-box 8, he could do well there, especially if he grows, their inch or two.
We got plenty of players in that position already.
We do have plenty of players in that position, but I think his skill set still places him better out wide, or not even out wide per se, but like in that dual 10 that Poch played or whatever,
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I like the dual 10 role better. Yeah, and we don't have a whole lot of depth in that dual 10 role, so seems to me that would make more sense. But okay, I mean, yeah. I'd have to talk to Tact about that. Why he thinks that he should be an 8. If he continues to grow and he's a better defender than he is now, he'd have to become a better defender. Then maybe, but right now, I don't see it. But all right, laughing my ass out.
Well, real quick. He says he thinks Tact thinks he's a replacement for Wes, like the Wes type of player.
I don't think so. You imagine him going up for a header in the box? Has Kevin Sullivan ever scored a goal with his head? I don't think so. All right, maybe he did when he played in the
Look at the next pro, you might find out, yeah.
But not against grown men. I mean, like I said, I think he grew a little bit. I'd like to get confirmation on that. But he did look bigger last game. They're not going to have that online yet.
Yeah.
There's no way they'd update that yet. Anyhow,
AI says no, Kevin Sullivan has not scored a career goal on a header, but I feel like that's just talking about as a pro, not necessarily looking at youth performances or.
Oh, that's good enough for me, Brett. It's good enough for me. All right.
So Kevin Sullivan has not scored any head, guys.
Well, that's probably good too. He's too young. Too young
exactly.
for that. All right, laughing my ass off. Let's take away the things that make him great and fun to watch, and then he could just run around doing regular stuff all game. Great idea. Stick to defensive tactics on FIFA, brother.
Or FIFA.
Ooh, Jesus. What the fuck? Now, Carlton coming at tactical at Filippo. Okay. Well, All right. I mean, that's not how I would have replied to that. But, Andrew's a spicy individual. He's a spicy guy. In fact,
Yeah.
I'd like to even have him on the show. I think we could talk him into saying some weird shit to get him in trouble.
It probably is not hard. Just look at his Twitter handle and it's enough.
I know. He's not an angry young man, but he certainly had a rough career that ended extremely early. And was told at one time he was, the future. So,
yeah, so a lot of self-inflicted wounds there.
He's a little salty about that. And I can understand why. All right. For the 260 of you here, make sure you like, subscribe, share with your grandma and your stepsister. You're here from Twitter and from YouTube. All right.
Yeah.
It's good to have you all here. The Twitter folks, too. Good to have you here. Bournemouth stance for Tyler Adams is he's not for sale and certainly not for $35 million.
Which means he's not for sale.
Dingleberry's American flag. Okay. So I know those are cherries.
Some red balls.
Yeah, some balls. Some balls and an American flag and a green penis. Listen, or an affected penis head. Yuck. Yeah, that's not surprising. Why would they do that? Although that's a pretty high price. So, big name plus prospect equals hype. 2% turn into pros, and even less turn out as contributors to the U.S. men's national team. Now you're talking about 0.3%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? As real contributors, not fucking Gold Cup or, Camp Cupcake. Okay? That does not count. Okay? Or friendlies. I mean, real contributors to the United States men's national team during qualifying and the World Cup. Okay? Gets even tinier. Super tiny. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, and then you even look at players who are still very talented as pros, but just can't get a sniff at all ever. I mean, look at a player like Julian Green.
Right.
He's a professional player.
A lot of people. There's another good example of a player. Everyone's like, "Oh, Julian Green's gonna be really, 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 really good." We covered him at the time. We told you what his coaches said about him. He said, sometimes playing, and I quote, this is the Stuttgart when he was on loan there, and I quote, sometimes when Julian's on the pitch, it's like we're playing with 10 men. And I quote.
Yeah.
Okay. So he had to get over that as a youth player, and he finally became a contributor at Greuther Fürth. He had never been a contributor to any team he was on until then. He was an overblown, overhyped youth player. And by the way, Greuther Fürth and Julian Green and Max Dietz were relegated to 3 Bundesliga this season. 3 Bundesliga. Yeah. Yikes. Bild reporting Borussia Mönchengladbach have made Joe Scally and Gio Reyna available for sale this summer. Brian, I think you should have mentioned, and we love Brian Schroeder, by the way, and that is how you pronounce his last name. Don't tell me how to pronounce it. That's how Brian told us to pronounce it when he's been on our show 2 or 3 times. First of all, don't trust anything Bild says. Okay? Bild is not a reliable source. They get they're like half and half, 50-50. Number 2, Joe Scally came out even before the World Cup in an interview and said, I think I need to move on from Gladbach. I've done everything I can there. I've talked to my agent, and I'd like to go somewhere else and have a new experience. So that's on Joe Scally and his agent. They initiated that. Reyna, I have no clue.
Derek, can you point to me one player on that Gladbach team that's not available for sale?
No.
I mean, there's not a single player on there that, if a bid came through, that I deemed worthy enough. Be like, nope.
Well, the point of this post, though, Brett, is that Gladbach don't want Joe Scally, and that's not true. That's not true. Scally initiated the leaving. I don't know Reyna's situation, but I would imagine after last season, he wants to leave too. Now, we will know soon as their friendly camp starts, whether or not they're on the travel squad. And if they're not, then we know they're really going.
When do the World Cup players return back to their clubs?
That should be this week.
Okay.
So we'll know this. At the end of this week, we'll know whether or not Joe Scally and Reyna are really leaving. Because if they really are, they're not going to play. Who the hell wants Joe Scally at this point? There are some mid-level teams that probably would. Scally would be a defensive upgrade for some of the teams, especially the promoted teams into the Bundesliga. If they could get their hands on Scally, they might do that. He'll find a spot somewhere. Scally's never going to be a superstar, though. We know that.
No.
I don't know if he knows that. I think he should know that, but maybe he doesn't.
I don't think he looks at himself going, I'm going to be the leader of this squad right here. I think he looks at himself and says, hey, I'm serviceable. I can get up in the attack TV. I'm good at sitting back and doing 1v1 defending.
Yep. I'm reliable. I don't do a whole lot of dumb things.
I mean, Gladbach's been relying on him for 5 years now.
Since he was like 18 years old.
18, yeah. So, I mean, I honestly think if he is, in fact, quote-unquote, available for sale, I think it's probably along the lines of what you were saying, and the fact that he came out and said, hey, I'd like to try something different. I want to go here or there. And basically made a statement that, hey, if a bid comes in, I'd like to entertain it.
I'd like to try something else out. I've been wearing these shoes for 5 years. I know you guys like me. You play me. I'm a regular starter, but I want to try something else. And, it does suck to play on a team like Gladbach, who in the last 2 seasons have become we're going to try to tie you 0-0. That's what we're going for every game, except for, the bottom 4 teams. We'll try to win those games. But other than that, we're Gladbach. We're not here to score. We're just here to make sure you don't. And if that's how they're going to continue to play under this manager, Reyna gets the fuck out of there. Because obviously you're only 8 games a year are you playing to win. The rest of the games you're playing to tie. Yeah. Scally's sort of the new Trunlo. Kind of, but I think Trunlo was a little bit better of a player. At least when he was healthy for Hanover.
I think he's just referring to not necessarily the star of the team, but just a serviceable player.
Well, he was the captain of the team, Toronto.
That's fair. That's a good point.
So Scally's not going to become a captain anytime soon. He might by the time he's 27, 28. I think it took Toronto a little while too. I think that Toronto is a better crosser than Scally is. I think he had a little bit more offensive prowess than Scally. But Scally might be
a lot, but
I know, but Scally might be an overall more dependable defender. I don't know. Toronto is a pretty good defender too. I don't know. It's a good discussion. I think anybody and their mother, if they were asked, who, especially USA fans, who would you rather have on the team right now? Informed Trundolo or an informed Scally, and I think 99.9% people are going to pick Dolo. Yeah. Yeah, Scally is still youngish. I'd agree with that, Berlin, but on the same, I don't think Scally's getting any better than this. I think this is who Scally is. He might have a upgrade in soccer IQ.
Yeah.
That can still happen. You do get wiser and smarter, and maybe that will make him a better player, but obviously technically he's
you saw spells this season, despite the fact that it was overly defensive and conservative, that he was definitely getting more into the attack when he wasn't playing as a right in the back three.
Yep.
But when he had basically when he was playing like the right wing back in the back five, he was getting up in the attack. He had a goal or two. He had a couple assists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that he wasn't banging it, but I mean, he was having a decent offensive season.
He's super serviceable.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, on occasion, all players make errors, but he's not like an error freak. He doesn't make like game costing errors on the regular.
You ever seen those videos of the shorts and stuff like that, where like, hey, you gotta build a team. You have $15 to build a team of 5 players, and they have like a $1 through $5 for, and they list the players. Bottom is like Breck Shea, but the top is like Ronaldo at this position type of thing, and you got to basically fit a team of 5 by only spending $15. Scally would be one of those like $2 picks that you pick because he's serviceable.
Yeah, you're being nice. Maybe $1.50.
You can't. There's no change. So it's either $1 or $2. And I don't think he's a $1 player.
They need to add some quarters to the game. All right. Breaking.
Diving that, Derek.
I know. Another post from Tom. Don't bogart that joint, my friend. Breaking. Middlesbrough is, at some point in our history, I want a fucking message, a private message sent to me on Twitter from Tom Bogart saying, I know about the song thing you guys do about my name, and I like it. Keep doing it.
Like, he needs to start leaning into it then.
Well, he knows about it by this point, but why do we not get any credit, Tom, for the song? I mean, I didn't write it, but I mean, what better nickname can someone have than Tom, don't bogart my joint? Don't bogart my joint, my friend. All right, anyhow, breaking. Middlesbrough is set to sign U.S. men's national team midfielder Berhalter. Seb Berhalter from the Whitecaps per sources. Deal agreed. Berhalter off to Borough. Fee around $2 million, which is good price for Borough, rather than Berhalter leaving in free in 5 months when contract expires. Good deal for both. I know some people were saying, well, it's going to be funny when he doesn't play because he's not better than Aiden Morris. You think they got him to be competition for Aiden Morris? Do you think Aiden Morris and Berhalter are the same type of player? No. The fuck are you thinking? They're going to play side by side, okay? With Berhalter playing more of a 8. And Aiden Morris is going to continue to be the quarterback 6 on that team. That's what he does. It's what he does. So, yeah, they'll play next to each other. Good move from this could put Middlesbrough up there, over the top, right? Did you really think that Morris was going to become Middlesbrough's best player when he went there? No, I don't think anybody did. But he is. He's got more man of the matches than any other Borough player.
Czar says, no, Morris can actually defend.
Yes, Morris can defend. Correct. And they just don't play the same way. They're not the same type of play. Berhalter's a much more box-to-box guy. Box-to-box. Not that Morris doesn't on occasion for Borough try to get forward when the opportunity is there for him, but you're not going to see him do that. He's very, very picky about when he does that. All right. Neil Pierre, or Pierre, it's French, is a top American prospect already? Brian. And what a return to Philadelphia for the 6'6" giant central defender.
Well, again, you got to remember, Brian's been following this guy throughout his youth career, too. So he says he's a top American prospect. Of course he's going to be a prospect.
I would have left the word top out. I'd say he's definitely an American prospect, but top? I guess he's talking about center back, so I guess so. How many center back prospects do you have? You're like, Josh Winder? What the fuck is that guy done lately? Josh Winder.
Well, I mean, the other MLS talking point was Cups. So, I mean, they're both about the same age, so.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope for one of them to pan out. On,
I like what I've seen. I like what I've seen from Neil Pierre so far. Yeah. He's Haitian. He's of Haitian origin. Well, that makes sense. It does. Yes, Josh Winder has been hurt. But even when he's not been hurt. And after a while, don't you get sick of a player constantly being hurt? It gets annoying. We all got annoyed with Reyna. We were like, that's it. I'm done fucking following this guy. Yeah.
Adams.
Jalen Neal's up there in the Great White North doing what?
But yeah, he's referring to him as the top American prospect. Jalen Neal was considered that. People were talking about that before he got his injury, and then he moved over to Montreal.
Mm-hmm. He needs to stand out. Some of these guys got to stand up, and at least that's what Neil Pierre has done when he subbed in and then started last game.
You know what's funny is you can see all 6'6" of him when he stands next to Cavan.
You can, and you can certainly see all 6'6" of him when he hit that header in.
Yeah,
because his knees were above the player's head that he was heading over. And yeah, that time at League B, that was good for Pierre. It hurts the U20 team that he's not with them for World Cup qualifying now, but that is an important step. Yeah, I get it.
He wins every single aerial duel. And of course he will. He doesn't have to jump.
They need to have a song about that in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
About him winning every header. Because he's just better or whatever, got to come up with a song. All right. Yes.
Throw in Giant or something in there.
Yeah. I'm going to continue to watch Philadelphia for more than just that one reason. Obviously.
You may not watch for long, Derek, because he's on his way to La Liga.
Bullshit. No, he's not.
That's funny.
I know that Yank's report here is just quoting Manu Vaquero, but I do have to say being tracked is jack shit nothing burger. Being tracked or ogled or spied on or whatever you want to call it. What are the other silly words they use?
Keeping tabs, monitoring.
Monitoring. Neil Pierre is being monitored by FC Barcelona. They might as well be fucking spying on him when he takes a piss at a urinal. They don't. Give me a break. It's way too early. It's not happening. Nothing concrete at this stage. No shit.
Wait a second.
Barcelona are monitoring his progress. Yes. Like, I'm interested in watching what and how Pierre develops. And so is Barcelona. So I guess they're going to monitor him. I don't think you have to warn us that nothing concrete at this stage.
It's funny. His time in Denmark was with Lyngby.
Yeah.
Which happens to be the same team that Cochin's been loaned out to.
Yep.
So clearly there's a connection here.
Okay. So, yeah.
Well, I'm sure they're keeping tabs on him.
Sure they are. But if you said that to me about 30 years ago, I think you meant the cola tabs.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, guys, these teams like Barcelona keep tabs on like 1,000 players. All right.
Yeah, I'm on an ankle bracelet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're keeping tabs on them. All right.
I see you've spent 30 minutes less at the fields this week. What's that about?
They got a big computer room. Pierre's going to bed. It's going to bed. I can see. Yep. He's in the bedroom. Oh, he's laid down. Yes. Okay. Yeah, the bracelet is steady. He must be on the bed or a couch. Maybe he's watching TV. Yeah. All right. Well, he's settled in for tonight. Let's go track another player. Okay. Come on, people. Yanks report. You know better than put this up, my man. And you don't need to warn us that nothing concrete. Nobody needs to hear that. Like any reasonable person knows there's nothing concrete.
He provided his sources, so I got to give him on that. He's peddling the news out and about, so props to him on that.
Yeah, I guess the real challenge is Manu Vaquero. All right, is Manu doo-doo? I mean, how well do you want to trust that guy? All right. If Barcelona was that interested in Pierre, they would have snatched him up 5 years ago and put him in the academy. Exactly, Lou. Exactly. So this whole we're monitoring.
Could Barcelona have done that though? I mean, what's I know you mentioned his citizenship. You said he's Haitian, but I mean, I know his citizenship's only United States according to transfer market. They couldn't have picked him up and thrown him in the academy 5 years ago, could they?
Don't think so, because the Haitian thing would only get him like France.
Well, I mean, he could have gotten a passport to them at the point. Yes,
it's to France, right?
Sure, it's all part of the EU at the point.
But I think that's about it. So, anyhow, awesome. But
I mean, there would have been some in his youth. There would have been some call-ups. Not call-ups. I mean, like some camp invites. You know, hey, come over here for a training session. There would be, you know, some things. You know, a plan to sign at 18 contract type of thing.
Yeah, guys, just because a guy has 2 good games in a row, I like it as much as anybody else does. Can we not start by putting out these egregiously off the mark reports?
Neil Pierre for 2030. Neil Pierre for 2030.
I don't care if it's from Manu Vaccaro or Manu Saccaro. I don't give a shit. I don't believe them and I don't trust them, and nor should you. All right? These teams track thousands of players. All right, onward. I wish Neil Pierre the best. I'm going to be watching you, my man. Going to be watching that guy. Oh, God. Arsenal, Manchester United, and Tottenham are reportedly eyeing a shock Premier League return for Christian Pulisic. A shock? You know why it's a shock, Yanks report? Because it ain't happening. AC Milan are open to talks around $73 million, an absolutely massive fee.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it ain't gonna be Arsenal. Tottenham would be lucky because they need help. And then the only one I think that Pulisic would embrace would be Manchester United, but $73 fucking million for a player who's constantly injured? Are we fucking shitting ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, AC Milan has him for another year at this point. His contract was through June 30th, 2027, with 1 year extension option. So I guess they got him through 28.
What's the source? Source link below.
Sportsmole.co.uk and Yardbarker.
Duh. Yeah, those are dependable. Talk about total jackassery. Why would you use those as sources? Why? Those are horrible. You can't do that. Sportsmole. Yeah, they're dependable. That's real. And that's the guy that gave him the Arsenal?
Won't matter, guys. I can't click on the links anyways.
Yardbarker. Okay. All right. I suppose those are better than the Sun. The Sun or BBC.
We don't know if that's true.
You cannot honestly post things like this. You cannot do that. Those are laughable sources, man. Do you want to be respected by your readers? Or do you just want views? You can't do this. Is Yank Report follow us?
Yeah.
Brother, out of love, I tell you, be more picky. Please be more picky with your sources. Obviously, the whole Arsenal thing is complete bullshit. You should know that right off the bat. And 73 million? Yeah. No, that ain't happening. That's not happening.
Yeah.
All right. Anyhow, we love you, but let's change our ways just a little bit out there on the twits.
So, I mean, I know that we covered a couple of old fogies on the transfer market, but when we were talking about the young players and the prospects and all that stuff, probably should have thrown this one in there. But here's U.S. men's national team only back in 2020. So, after, before a couple of years before the 2022 World Cup, And he says a total of 10 uncapped U.S. men's national team players have been called up for November. And he's true there, but I'm just like, let's look at the list.
Yeah, here's the thing. There was one guy who said, oh, this is such a depressing list.
Only 2 players or whatever.
Yeah. I had such high hopes for this group. Why? I mean, a lot of them contributed. Reyna, Musa, Richards, Cardoso's going to contribute. The rest? You bought into all of these? No.
Dunze was highly hyped because, playing in the youth realms of EPL.
Ledesma was an injury machine.
Exactly.
Gioacchini, I mean,
I liked him. I liked him. I didn't expect him to really perform, but I liked what he brought.
I liked what he brought, but I didn't think he was like a lock guy for us. Mm-hmm. Sebastian Soto, back injuries.
I was never really sold on Soto.
Me either.
He had a standout youth World Cup, and then boom, off to Europe.
Owen Otasowie became a stripper.
Yeah. And a social media influencer.
Yeah, and an ice cream taster. And then Conrad De La Fuente, he just became an irascible, like, non-team guy that hasn't worked out with anyone. And then Yunus Musa's too nice. He's too nice. Too nice.
Yeah. I mean, minus a couple of these players, you're looking at this list, and at the time you would sit there and go like, oh God, this list is promising. Good, look at all these names.
Well, no, other people would say that.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm joking by talking about the prospects. Mm-hmm. We talked about the players who, they're already significantly further ahead than these insert starlets for us right now. Mm-hmm. No, it's just like, again, you have very talented youth players, young players come through the woodwork. Doesn't mean they're going to pan out in the end.
No, it doesn't. And I hope this list is another good example to people. Owen Otasowie doesn't even play soccer anymore. Sebastian Soto's retired. Nicholas Gioacchini scored 1 goal and 1 assist in like 8 games for wherever the fuck he is now. Greece? I can't remember. I did remember looking at his stats a while back and going, wow, that's gone to nothing. Richie Ledesma was an injury machine. And Odunze, I mean, who the fuck knows where? Somebody's saying he plays at Phoenix Rising now. Yunus Musa's looking for a new team and hopefully a whole new fucking attitude. Yeah. He's going to need one. He's going to have to be killer. And Gio Reyna, he's looking for a new team too. Only guy out of there, really, out of this whole group where you're like, that guy's solid as a rock is Chris Richards. Out of the whole group.
I'll say this much. Gioacchini is currently without a club.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That sounds about right. Yep. And, did he come to MLS and just crush it? No, he did not.
Nope, he was Orlando, played 6 whole games.
I forgot about Cardoso. Yes, I skipped over him. Yes, he's going to be great. I mean, if he can stay healthy, he's already back and playing, so for Atletico, so we'll see. He should be
good.
He should be a contributor going forward. He should. Honestly. If he's not, I'll be really surprised by that.
Gioacchini had a solid season with St. Louis. But then he got, whatever. He went to Como, back to MLS, back to Como.
Barely played for Como.
Yeah, I don't know when he got transferred over. I'm not going to dive too far into this. It's not really worth my time.
I think they were in the second division at the time too.
They were. Well, when he got one back, yeah, but he was also part of the team when they got promoted, though. So
I didn't think he really contributed much to that.
He did. Okay. It was 9 games. I don't think he scored a goal.
Yeah, I do think Cardoso and Richards are the only 2 there who are going to be with us for a while now. And then this, yeah. Again, I have nothing against the poster. I actually like him, but I don't think putting up these lists is helpful to anybody. And if even 2 or 3 of these players out of this long list makes it to the U.S. men's national team in 2030, that'll be a shocker. Kevin Sullivan, maybe. Matisse Albert looks like the best one out of the group so far. Diego Cochin's got a long way to go. Okay, and he's very young as a goalkeeper. No Kai Banks didn't want to play for us last World Cup. Josh Winder's an injury machine. Brooklyn Reigns, that's sort of a maybe. Look, he looks fine in MLS. Let's see what happens. Same thing with Norris and James and Cups. I mean, these. If you honestly, I don't think this guy, I hope he doesn't honestly think all these players are going to make the U.S. men's national team in 2030, because if that's what he believes, he's going to be extremely disappointed. Extremely disappointed. Because only a couple of these are going to really do it. Only a couple. If that. Going to be one out of that whole group. Matisse Albert, you bet, baby. That's how we're pronouncing it here, man.
We're going to say we're part of Team Albert.
Because that's what his mama calls him. His mama calls him Matisse Albert. And we're sticking with his mom's pronunciation. If his mama calls him that, that's what we're going to call him. Pete. Come on, Pete. Get on it. It's not Mathis Albert. It's Matisse Albert, baby. Let's put some flourish on this kid's name. All right, Damian Downs, redemption coming soon. I wouldn't count on that.
He scored a goal.
Yeah, and some friendlies against some turd teams. Let's see how he does.
It was a pretty impressive goal.
It was a good goal. Let's see how he holds it together once the pressure's back on and the fans are all up his asshole again like they were last season, where he had to turn off his Twitter because he couldn't deal with it and requested a loan immediately because it was too much. Can he handle it this season? The whole season, the full season.
And nothing but this season.
When the fans ride your ass again, can you handle it, Mr. Damian Downs? We will see. I am here for you. I hope it works out, my man. Why did he leave Köln? He didn't like Kirsch beer.
Was he even playing much for them at the end?
Köln? Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Sorry.
That was before he went to. Okay, no, sorry. Who did he play? Who did he play for over in Bundesliga?
Oh God, who was that loan to? Stuttgart? No. Anyhow, yeah, he started off playing a few games at the beginning of the loan. Hamburg, thank you. And then, by the end of the season, he was a bench guy.
Yeah. Sorry, when he said, why did he leave Köln? I don't know why my mind immediately thought that was the team he played for last season, but that didn't make any sense because Köln actually did okay, right?
Yeah. Well, no. Didn't Köln barely survive? Hamburger.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Berlin again with the Reinheitsgebot. I don't even think anybody knows what that is.
Derek, they're in first place right now. Winning, guys. Let's call the season.
Brett, do you know what the Reinheitsgebot is?
Got no fucking clue.
Those are the German laws on how you must brew beer.
Okay, I know that. I mean, I know that. I just don't know that was a name.
So that's Berlin's upholding the Grosch beer in Köln, which is what they're famous for. I can't stand that beer. I think it's disgusting. That's just me personally. All right. But hey, somebody's got to defend the Germans out there, right? Something with the Rhine River. We are not having that debate again. And it does turn out I was right.
I was pointing out the Rhine River the entire time.
The German Purity Act of 1492.
So Köln finished
Sehr
14th.
gut. Natürlich.
They finished a solid 3 points above the playoff spot.
Okay.
Man, Bremen must have had a rough end of the season, man. I remember them starting off strong.
So they survived. That means our homeboy on that team is at left back still going to be there.
What debate?
Oh, you missed the Rhine River
debate? He knows exactly what he's doing.
Oh, yeah, we're not bringing that back up.
Who who would ever bring up the Rhine River unless they know about that debate?
Mm-hmm.
That was the hey, this show's over. Let's talk about this tiny little tidbit. Like, what was it? Hey, I live in this area. What team should I follow?
Yeah.
And that went on for like 30 fucking minutes.
It's a geography debate for 30 minutes.
What a stupid debate.
Yeah.
All right, back to where I was going. Okay.
All right.
Let's see.
Yep, now it's done.
Guy who doesn't buckle under the pressure. Boom!
Oh, well, he used to, but not anymore.
He grew a pair of testes.
Hell yeah, he had to become the best player on that team, and he was all last season for Venezia. So I'd expect that the pressure's on now. Can he take being kind of given the crown of that team? Can they bring enough good players around him to help them stay up this season? That's the real question. Hey, here's a suggestion. Sign Musa.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can afford it, but if they can,
get him on a fucking loan. AC
get a fucking loan, man. Can you see that? A Busio Musa center midfield? That would be awesome to watch all season. I'm there for it.
Yeah.
Yes, I love their kits. Venezia has the best kits in Europe.
They're
by far.
Classic.
They are fucking fine. All right. Musa sucks though. Does Musa really suck, or did he just lose all confidence? He sucks in the final third, BMR.
I don't
no
think
doubt about that.
I don't even think his confidence is shot until he gets closer to that final third, and then that's where it's really gone.
Yeah,
that's really where it goes.
His rectum gets extremely tight, and he can't seem to play.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
No.
Oh, I was going to read this last one. Busio is one of the rare American players that are actually underrated. Well, I don't think he was underrated. I think that Busio blossomed last season. Let's remember the season where Tessman and Busio were playing next to each other, and it was so obvious that Tessman was the better player, like by light years. And that
Busio started, and then Tessman ended up taking his position by the end of the season.
And then Busio was like an on and off starter, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Tessman started every fucking game. So I think that was all about confidence and learning to beat the man. And I think Tessman, that's more natural for him to be like, no, I'm the fucking boss here.
So I think the problem with Busio was leading to his move to Europe. When he was with Kansas City, he was shuffled about that lineup every game. This is like one day he's a striker, next he's playing in the midfield, then all of a sudden he's out wide, and he never really. I don't think he really ever hammered down that position. And then he goes to Italy, and hey, you're a midfielder, and now he's got to really buckle down on that position. I think it was just a learning curve for him.
Yeah, I think it is, but I do think he's grown up too. Let's keep that in mind.
Learning curve.
Yeah. By the way, that's not how you spell Vaseline. It's Vaseline, right? Isn't it?
Vase. got a partially used bucket right here.
Let me just check out the spelling.
Not even jar. It's a bucket. He buys it in bulk.
Sorry, mine's a generic brand by Comforts. But, yeah, so I can't help with it. But I'm pretty sure it's like Vase. It looks like Vaseline. Yeah, I'm pretty good at spelling Vaseline. Which, by the way, don't break out the Vaseline too quickly when we're talking about youth players. Again, that's the whole theme of the show. All right, let's just go easy on this. I know there are a lot of great things and exciting things happening, but let's let these flowers blossom. Once the flower is blossom, then you can get excited, right? Then we'll get excited when they've actually proven something. When Matisse Albert actually starts this season or comes off the bench regularly for Dortmund, then we can start to, kind of feel it a little like, okay, all right, this is kind of good. This is good. But until the woman has fully stripped and naked and in the bed and you guys are getting it on, there's no point getting a hard on way too early during, before you've even started the foreplay. Okay, so let's wait for foreplay. Okay, and then if it starts getting hot and heavy, I'm not gonna bug you. If you get, you start busting out the liquids. All right, that's it for tonight's show.
No.
Oh, wait, no.
We barely talked about the poaching. That kind of leads into another topic here. So we got one more topic, Derek.
All right, what is it?
You can't just keep jumping the gun here. So we kind of briefly talked about it beforehand. Poch hasn't announced anything yet. He said that he's going to do it this week. Didn't do it this past week. U.S. Soccer said, "Hey, we're going to hear something sometime in August," which all leads to the fact that, quite frankly, the fact that nothing's been announced yet, that Poch is fielding his options. Quite frankly, because if he wanted to coach the U.S. men's national team again, he would have accepted already.
Well, hold on. Let's wait, says Colin, until post that up real quick. Let's wait until they prove and then say the obvious. That requires a lot of soccer knowledge. Well, go ahead. You fucking be a Nostradamus and look like an ass when you pick a bunch of players that don't turn out. That's on you. I wait for them to actually turn out first.
Well, and again, that's not even what we're saying. We're saying, yes, these are promising, talented players. We see the skill set, but we're not going to blow our load over a player that hasn't amounted to anything yet.
Correct.
Okay. He has potential, X, Y, and Z reasons. I like what he's doing here, this skill, that skill, whatever. But we're just simply saying, let's not blow our loads by simply saying we got to bring him in tomorrow and start him now. We're saying, hey, let's see what they can do. Albert's a great prospect. He's looking great. He's moving up through Dortmund's ranks all the way up to first team, scoring goals in their friendlies.
Yep.
It's pretty safe to assume at this point that he's going to pan out. But we never know. But we all can see the skill and talent there.
Yes. But we're not, Colin, you do what you want to do. What we're trying to do is warn everybody else who are out there saying, this is the greatest player, or this is going to be the next great player, or this is the next great player, or this. You don't know that, man. Calm down.
I use Matisse Albert as an example, quite frankly. I'm not saying that that's what I'm pointing out. It's people out there that are saying, well, let's get rid of the old guard and let's bring in the new guard and let's start fresh blood. These players have barely played as professionals. And I'm not saying that they can't be called into a camp because a lot of them are having really good seasons, especially the ones that are in MLS right now. We can call them into some camps, sprinkle them into our lineup. But sitting here, saying that, we're just gonna wait till they pan out and say the obvious. That's not what we're doing.
Berlin, it's not court ordered. But that is funny, dude. All right.
Okay, so back to what I was saying here.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it, at least in my opinion, I think pretty much everybody's assuming already that Poch is just fielding his options right now. We know one of the super chatters earlier had said that he's waiting for the Argentine job to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll see from there. The one thing I wanted to branch this topic over, because I think we kind of touched base on a number of times, are what we need to do as the team, regardless of who we pick up as the coach. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We need to continue striving for the American style. We need to take what Poch has kind of leaned into and say, get out of your comfort zone, and work it. We need to continue going from there and moving on. We don't need to necessarily reinvent the wheel, mirror ourselves off of somebody else. We just need to go out there and do what we do.
Oh, yeah, enough of that. Let's go out and play the same kind of ball we played against Paraguay all the time. Let's do it every game.
Every game.
Philip Lahm, a legend, believes Germany's priority should be reclaiming their own identity, not replicating Spain's playing style. Absolutely. Go watch some old fucking footage, you dumb fucks. Quit trying to play like other teams. Lahm, we need to rediscover the identity of German national team. We don't need to copy Spain and its possession-based football. We have our own virtues. Defensive organization, physical intensity, resilience, and then attacking. That's what has always defined Deutsche national team. We need to return to that model with clearly defined roles and a clear formation. to create repetition and consistency in training and in matches.
We need to be a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, go watch some old footage of like how you guys used to be and who you were. The thing is, do you have the players to do that anymore? That is another question, which is, okay, you started this plan in 2000 to reclaim the German player and create better German players, and it worked briefly, but now you're kind of like back to step one again. Okay? And God damn it, fucking somebody develop a striker in Germany, like a real one, like a Klose style one, right?
Mm.
I mean,
I'm fine with Germany going through a slump period.
I'm not.
I don't have any problems with Germany.
It's my second team. What are you talking about, Brett? You arschloch. All right. What else? Is that it?
No, this is Bob Bruce Arena talking about very similar things, though.
Former USMNT national team coach Bruce Arena explains why the U.S. can't take Spain's successful blueprint and duplicate it here. He was speaking on Coach's Corner with Rob, blah, blah, blah.
We're just going to skip right to the quotes.
We're different. Geographically, in the size of our country, their professional league is outstanding, but they have a method, how they play. But, we've talked about this for years. The U.S. is different. Geographically, our country is 2,000, 6,000 miles wide.
2,000, 6,000.
Whatever. I'm not really good with math. We have 3 different time zones. We have different climates. We have different cultures as a country to have a style of play. Like you might say Spain has, I think it's very difficult for us to duplicate. If you don't mind me saying this, in 1999, Sunil Gulati and I were in Barcelona for the Champions League final, Bayern Munich and Manchester United. I met with Julier, Gerard, my friend, and we discussed the France plan. And he explains to me how France operates. They have 8 regions, and they get together at different points. They keep it pretty consistent. And he was writing this down on a napkin with a Sharpie for me, showing me this. And I said to him, do you know the United States, the size of it? And, again, I said, we're this wide,
5,000, yeah.
5,000 miles, 3 different time zones, different climates, different cultures. He took out the napkin, he rolled it up, and he threw it at me. Bitch. And he said, you got a problem. And, to this day, I can't read all this. All right, you get the point. I didn't know it was going to be this long.
That's waiting for you to be like, what the fuck? No, but it's ultimately the point is that Derek's Bruce Arena has a hint of Woody Allen in there.
It does. I get very nervous around the girls. I do. I do.
Ultimately, the point is, we've gone through things where, like Klinsmann came in and said, we've got to find an identity. And then Berhalter had his method that, mirrored more of a very progressive club stance. And then, we've kind of lost our identity for a bit. And we just need to get back to it. We can perfect on the small things that are going to make us better, but we gotta relocate our balls.
Well, not only our balls. Here's another thing about that. Like the United States is a giant country, and anything that is extremely giant or big is hard to tame, right? It's hard. It's difficult to tame giant things. It's much easier
What she said.
to take something that's small and embrace it. And it's much more difficult to take things that are large.
That's what she
and
said.
And to handle that and make sense of it. Because number one, when things are extremely large, you're kind of dumbfounded by it, right? What am I going to do with this gigantic thing? How do I make sense of this? How do I organize this? In the end, I think you have to kind of,
drape it over your shoulder and go to work, right?
Sometimes you need to understand you got to break that thing up into different pieces. This is getting disgusting now. You have to break it up into regions and let the regions work on the regions, right? Because you're not going to be able to take that giant thing all by yourself, right?
Yeah.
You got to
share the load.
You got to bring in different partners and let each of them work on that giant slab of meat together. Sometimes it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 people to satisfy that giant thing and make it work. So no one person is going to be able to satisfy this giant thing. You're going to need 3 or 4 people to satisfy it, to make sense of it, right?
It takes a village.
Yes.
Right?
You're going to have to break it down into regional partners, all willing to take a good fistful of that giant thing. And then you got to trust them to trust them each to do their part. And then you all come together at the end and decide, who are the best players in each of those groups, those regional groups. All right.
Whoa.
Okay.
Anthony says Mia Khalifa could.
Could she really though?
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know.
You got her on speed dial. Why don't you reach out to her and find out?
I didn't know that she was like a massive taker of all things gigantic in all her regions. Yeah, I didn't know she was great at that. Yeah. Recapping Brett's convention from a few weeks ago. Kind of.
It took a village. It really did.
Exactly. All right. So that's it. That's it for today. We already kind of talked about in prior shows about who might take over for Poch if Poch doesn't want to come back. We'll get back to that if that becomes a relevant conversation again. I don't know when. It sounds like we're going to have to wait till August to figure that out. Until then, we will be back next Monday. We're going to do a recorded show, so look out for a recorded show sometime midweek. And until then, we love you all. Thanks to the almost 300 of you that showed up tonight. It was awesome having that many folks in here. And we'll think about a open mic sort of show here coming up as well. Until the next time, this has been the Straight Red Card. Have an awesome evening.
That hurt.
Welcome to the post-match press conference of the match between...
Sometimes people have sex in different ways. Makes me why? And one way is a type of sex called oral sex.
It's really good.
I don't particularly enjoy it.
Set the right tone, set the standards.
No, it's not one of my favorites.
And knowledge and also experience from different people. And
Only if you're doing it right.
I am very good.
Every man thinks he knows which positions women love, but most are completely wrong.